So let's get this started. Good morning, everybody. I am Omni Rusted. It is the official launch day for Oxygen Not Included, one of my favorite games, but also one of the hardest games to learn. Its learning curve is massive. So I thought that I would do a little special stream. Well, probably not going to be little. I'm probably going to spend all day on it. We'll see. Where I answer some questions for anybody in Twitch, and I also I'm going to put this whole thing up online on YouTube. So it's a very, very difficult game with an incredibly high learning curve, and there's a lot of special little tricks and everything you can do. And while I do plan to be showing and explaining some of the things that I'm going to be building, I might forget a little bit of it or assume that some of it is already well known, but I might also stop at some points and actually like create a small little tutorial video that I later plan to, you know, cut out and upload to YouTube as a separate thing. We'll see how it really goes, but we're going to start a new game today on survival. And one of the things in the new release is that you can actually choose the destination you go for. There is Terra, which is the standard, Oceania, which has it's mostly covered in a saltwater ocean, and I've yet to really figure out exactly what saltwater oceans are for. I know that there's some decorations you can get from them, you can get salt from them, and I still don't know what table salt is for at all. And for some reason, there's a little mouse shadow over certain parts of the tech. That's weird. Rime, which is a frigid location. You start out in a basic location, but most of it is covered in an ice biome, and it's still very cold. Verdante, which is one of my personal favorites. It's a lush location, rich in wildlife and life-sustaining resources. It's challenging. There's not as much food. There's not as you only have like one oxygen option. You have it's very different. Arborea, I'm not going to go through all of these much. Arborea, which is a location with natural abundance of trees, which makes it actually very, very easy to power things and get food from pips and whatnot. But there's a lot of things missing, like metals, which is very, very tough. Volcania, there's lots of heat. And heat is one of the biggest problems in this game. So I'd never ever want to go there. It would be very nice because you get a lot of power from steam if you could get to that point. There's probably a lot of oil. There's probably a lot of different types of metals. But the heat, like, you will die from heat death so quickly in this game. And that's usually what kills my colonies, because they've taken out a lot of solutions to heat. The Badlands, a barren location with overabundance of mineral resources. I haven't tried this one yet. But, I mean, more mineral resources is always good. It seems like there's going to be a lack of slime biomes and forest biomes and stuff like that. Probably a lot of mineral rust, stuff like that. Aridio, a location with oppressively hot temperatures. Temperatures in Aridio are much higher than expected. While resources are abundant, maintaining food and infrastructure can be difficult for our colony worms. And the last one, Oasis, a desolate location with a cache of life-sustaining water trapped beneath the surface. And water is sort of like the biggest thing, the biggest problem in this game. I'm going to be starting on Terra. It's the standard biome. I thought about doing Oceania or Rime or Verdante, but I'm just going to go with the standard one for this specific stream. Hey, VIP. I'm going to go with the standard Oceania or Terra for this specific stream, just because this is more about educating than it is about trying new challenges. We're gonna hit the coordinates button a couple times. We're gonna go to SNDSTA 13011473020. You don't get any of the I totally just redid the whole number. Ignore that number. You don't get any of the random bits on Terra, which is why I thought of doing one of those. Maybe in later videos I'll do challenges, but for this specific stream, I'm going to be doing just normal Terra. Let's let that load up, and we'll choose our beginning dupes. So for anybody that's wondering, this game is about base building. It's about survival. It's about fighting against resources and constantly having the next problem and anticipating the next problem that you're going to run into. It is kind of like an ant colony. And there are objectives, such as getting off the planet, or getting off the asteroid. And you sort of find out the storyline as you go along. There is actually a basic storyline, but the storyline is not really important. What's important is building your base. You can choose your beginning dupes here. I'm going to choose a builder, a doctor. A lot of people choose a researcher. I choose a doctor. And a farmer. Now, I'm not going to stick with our basic starting people, although they are really good. Wow. They're actually really good. But I'm going to use the reroll button a couple times. I like to have at least 2 interests that they're in, because that's good for morale later on. And I don't like having people with destructive or binge eater as their stress reaction. He's pretty good building, researching, decorating. He's not really going to get anything in researching, so I'm going to reroll that. Mouth breather is something I always avoid. Of course, allergies is something I avoid for personal reasons. So at the start, just having one thing, one interest is really good because, well, they'll be much faster at doing that, and that will build up your colony faster. But I like to have at least 2, just so they have a little bit of a bonus and a little bit of a and later late game morale bonuses. Building, decorating, tidying, that's a pretty good one actually, except that he's got a small bladder, so he'll have to run back to the toilet more, and he's also destructive. That would have been good otherwise. Supplying is doctoring because of the extra strength, but doctoring I don't really care about. Building, ranching, the ranching is a main objective, so I want that to be a main specialist job. Building, suit wearing would be nice, except with anemic, that means that his run speed is going to be slower, and I'm going to be needing them to go much faster than that. Building, decorating, doctoring, building, tidying. Oh, that's it. That's it. Building is good because that means he'll get the plus 75% construction speed. Tidying means he has a better extra carrying capacity, and for builders, that's really, really important. So we're gonna choose from, let me go pull up really quick my volunteer list. The volunteer names are aggregated from volunteers on YouTube, volunteers on... Wow, I haven't cleaned this up for a while, actually. Volunteers on Twitch. Wow, I have not cleaned this up for a long while. Huh. Subscribers on Twitch, and if you want to be included in that, become a Patreon on YouTube, or just, you know, throw your... Oh my god, what? I'm not talking to you. Either throw your name in on Twitch, or throw a Twitch Prime subscription, which comes, of course, free with Amazon Prime. Let me go find my random name picker. Alright, the first random name to come up is Savior on a Stick. Okay, let's keep going. Of course, if you're on YouTube or Twitch and want to volunteer and have your name go in first, it will become a priority. Otherwise, I'm just going to be picking from the random name picker. So, doctoring is very important, but my doctor is a person who usually stays in the base, so I'd like them to be a cook or a researcher. So this one is going to take a little bit more on the randomizer, since they're going to be doing more than doctoring. Oh my god. So that's really good. That's actually really good. Narcoleptic is... it kind of sucks. But doctoring and researching is so rare to get together that I will actually put up with Destructive for this. This one is going to be VIP651 because he is the only one in chat right now. Congratulations, you're now my doctor/researcher. Now, a farmer can be many, many things. Tidying, researching. I don't want a loud sleeper, not this early. I don't want allergies with a doctor. That'd be terrible. Because later on, they will be sitting next to a bunch of bristle blossoms, which put out a constant smell, which will... it's just bad. Flatulent, you never want. You never want flatulent unless it's very, very late game and you have something already set up to handle that. It just takes up power. It doesn't actually increase that much. It just gives a gas that people can't breathe. Gastrophobia would be okay this early. Farming, decorating, operating. I'm gonna go with that one. Also, stress reaction vomiter is really, really good. Let's go with the random name picker, and it is Da Chinchillin. Congratulations, welcome to the colony. You are now my farmer slash artist slash operator. We're gonna hit, you know what, let's just say this. We're gonna go with Rustopia. The old name. Name the colony Rustopia, and we will embark. Oh, I already don't like this because of that water right there. I already don't like that. Alert! I've awoken at the location, but my colonization efforts have already hit a hitch. I was supposed to land on the planet's surface. I don't even know how you would manage that. I've become trapped many miles underground instead. Although the conditions are not ideal, it's imperative that I establish a colony here and begin mounting efforts to escape. So we start out with a little bit of oxalite in random locations. That's going to be our oxygen source right away. Look around a little bit. There's a lot of oxalite up there. Wow. There's a lot of oxalite in this location, which is really good. A little bit of granite down there, which is going to be good. Not much water. So we're going to have to start water reclamation efforts really, really early. I don't like this water being here. I'm going to have to deal with that right away. So let's start digging that direction. Now I have a standard base that I build. I've actually even got the screenshot for it over here. And you'll be seeing that, and I'll be building it much later on as we go. Let's actually start by going over this direction. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, 11 is right there, and I really wanted to keep that plant there. There's a bonus that I want to try for if I can possibly get it, but it looks like I'm going to have to pull up all of this stuff. We'll set all this to auto harvest and dig our way through it. Now, a lot of this game, sadly, is going to be waiting around for things to happen. I'm going to try and mitigate as much of that as I possibly can, but no promises. If I can trap this guy in one location, I really want to try that. Alright, there's the muck root there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is going to be here. Which means I'm actually going to have to cut into this oxalite a little bit. The oxalite will go away eventually when it disperses all of its oxygen into the atmosphere, but this early on, I'm shaping out my base, so I want to get rid of that. I don't know what the hell just happened to my mouse there. We want to get some of this copper too. We'll go down 4 spaces and then cut over that away. I'm going to ignore most of the tutorial messages and just explain things as they go along. So when you cut down oxalite, it does come up as oxalite ore, but it doesn't. Oxalite ore does not put out as much oxygen as it possibly could have. Did I shape that wrong? No. It goes there. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Hold on. If I can trap this guy in this area, that's going to be great. So what I just used there was the priority screen. Oh, trapping him in there is going to be so good. Oh, did he just appear from the air? What was that? He just popped out of thin air. Huh. That's a hatch. They eat anything. Well, they eat minerals. There's the list there. And they produce coal. Those can be useful later. Right now, it's just an animal that's getting in the way. I don't care if it eats sandstone. That's usually what I feed them anyway. So you see the gas that is spreading around right now. We'll go to the gas overlay here. You can see the oxygen is spreading down here, and we're getting a lot of carbon dioxide as we breathe it in. The quality of the oxygen is also a lot worse down here, and as we spread out, that means more oxygen that is going to be spreading out, which can be very, very bad. So I'm going to start with 2, 3, 4 of these, but only build 1. In fact, let's set these to priority 1 right now so they get done last. The building gets done first. I'm going to have to basically find a way to get rid of this water or move it to another tank. Oh, and VIP fell asleep. There's the first one. Yeah, we need to figure out a way to deal with this water really, really early on. One of the ways that I can deal with this, we're going to go to plumbing and we're going to build up our outhouse shape first off. We'll build up just 2 right now, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But I think what I'm going to do is actually leave that water there until I can really deal with it. And we're going to start shaping out... we're just going to use it as a basic plumbing thing for the moment. Oops, didn't mean to do that. We'll just use it as a water source for now. And I'm going to try and make sure that my dupes can fit up here. But as of yet are not going to be releasing the water into the wild, as it were, and flooding my base. So the reason that I shape my bathrooms like this, first off, set all of your bathrooms to go only one way, your sinks. You want to make sure for containment of germs that if they're going to use the toilet, they have to pass by a sink. Right now, they haven't even used the bathrooms. They're on their downtime, their break time. They're taking breaks. They're relaxing near the light put out by the printing pod. And they're going to go to sleep. I don't know where Chinchillin's going. He moved right into the... Oh, he moved out of the range of the light from the printing pod. We'll have him go to sleep in the bathroom for now. Apparently he doesn't want to, because he keeps getting woken up by the Shine Nymph. I don't know why he moved out of there. You can use the light overlay, which is F5, to see where the light is. Every time it moves into his range, it wakes him up. It's out of order because it doesn't have any dirt in it. They need to deliver dirt. Oh, do we only have sandstone? I think we only have sandstone right now, actually. No, we delivered a little bit of dirt, so they'll use that. And now, as they come out of there, because they don't have any water in the wash basin so far, they're going to be creating food poison germs, and they're going to be coming out of there and basically just sitting around with that. I don't know why they're not building that. Okay, so because I have really nothing to do at the moment, we're going to dig these out. And I'm going to start up another room majigger up here. And expand this up that way. Guys, seriously, you need to do this. They can't reach it, so they're not working at it. Actually, I know how to fix that really quick. Let's just... Pitcher pump there. I put it at the deepest part of the spot, and we put one ladder here. And that'll fix that. I put everything towards priority 6 right now, except for the bathrooms. Just so that they'll make sure to do that first before the priority 5 jobs. Now, they couldn't reach this to do it, so I made a ladder there. And now they can reach it. Because they had to dig out that one spot up there first to fit it. Boom. Alright, put that way. Let's look at the germs. Germs aren't bad so far, but we are in danger of contaminating our water. So let's make sure we get everybody who has germs into the back of this room after they delivered. So as they pass by the wash basins, they will wash off all the germs that they have. We have contaminated our place a little bit, so I'm going to go to the priority screen, and I'm going to put tidying up to max. Just a little bit, just so they get rid of the germs in the area. We're in danger of contaminating our water with food poisoning germs, which could potentially be very, very bad. And I don't want food poisoning germs to spread. Usually you want to have the wash basins done first, because they can handle the germs very, very early. I didn't have the chance to do that because I didn't exactly build this water up first. Alright, looks like we have 0 surface germs in the water there. It's okay for them to be on the wash basins or the outhouses. No problem there. There's somebody without a job here, so let's start clearing out some more space. And build up some more room up here. Hi, Void Melodies. Hi, Evie. And he somehow got trapped in there. I don't know how he managed that. I'm going to set up our researching room first off. Braining, and looking at my blueprint that I always use. Oh. That is a much better build than I was planning. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna pull out this part first. I might use these plants up here for something. If I can fit things. I don't think I can fit things up there. How's the game going? Just started. I'm trying to set up a research room right now. For morale purposes, I'm actually going to close off this room with a pneumatic door. Now, I use pneumatic doors to trap this shine bug in here, which you'll see why later. But the room overlay is where a lot of your morale stuff come in. If a room is enclosed by doors of any kind, it becomes a miscellaneous room, and you can have room overlays over here, which have different different things that they can have. Minimum size 12 tiles, maximum size 64. That's a washroom. So no industrial machinery, wash station, toilet. It will give morale +1 to everyone else. And morale is something that you really have to keep track of. A lot of this game is very much keeping track of the very, very small things. You have to pay attention to that. For example, right now, every single time they wake up, they're getting a sore back. The sore back is athletics -1 for the entire day. Also, it ups their stress just a little bit when they wake up. And I will deal with that in just a moment. Actually, we're going to start on cots. Boop, boop. Spread them out just a bit. With a pneumatic door here. Now that I have put a door there, you can see the room overlay. This is maximum size 64 tiles. What? How is that? Oh, right. I forgot something. I did a dumb. Damn it, I already messed up my entire build. Because those are priority... Oh, they were priority 8. I don't know why they got switched back to priority 5. Messed up my entire build. There's a specific thing I go for when I'm shaping out bathrooms, and I completely forgot about it. So we're going to put down tile here. And remake the room. If VIP would ever wake his ass up. The biggest problem that we're going to run into with this... is now we've got polluted air that's going to be going around, which can potentially give people... it doesn't give people germs, but it makes them very unhappy to breathe it. It's bad air quality. It takes a while to get rid of. And in fact, we're going to be building up our research room over here in a moment. Let's make sure we can also get under it so that people don't get trapped. But we basically just wasted a bunch of water, which is not something you want to do when there's very, very little water already. We've only got... I don't even know how much there is in there. We're going to have to set up water reclamation really, really quickly. I'm not seeing any other sources of water around. It's not good. Now, a little bit of that water did come back. Oh, and it is time on cycle 3 for our first random printing pod thing. These are called care packages that you get every once in a while, and it gives you the options of getting either items, animals, or dupes. Or I would love to get a new dupe this early. Operating, doctoring, decorating. Increase creativity with the decorating. Plus 30% decorating speed. That would be actually really good. And that is an operator doctor. He's also got an iron gut, so he's immune to food poisoning. I don't like the destructive. The gastrophobia is fine. I don't know if I want an operator this early, though. Tidying, doctoring, operating is also really good with gastrophobia and ugly crier. Those are both really good. Now, decorating, actually, it's not really important. I do like the extra decorating speed, as well as the increased creativity, so I'm probably going to get them. But he gets less of a morale bonus. Interior decorator is kind of a good, bad yin-yang thing. Pokeshell spawn is an animal that I don't want to get this early. Well, maybe, actually. Ooh, I hadn't thought of that. Oh, that's an interesting thought. Nah, I'm not going to get him this early. He could potentially eat polluted dirt really early so that I wouldn't have to get a compost heap really early. But it's not that big a deal. I'd rather get a new dupe this early. What are we guys thinking? Bonnie or Abe? And who wants to volunteer for one of them? I'm going to avoid Nicola completely because mouth breather. Like, extra air consumption when we don't have much oxygen or any oxygen production at the moment. Not doing. Abe or Bonnie? I'm leaning more towards Bonnie. But I don't like the destructive. Tidying means more strength. Operating is better machinery. Doctoring is just useful for everything. It's always nice to have two doctors in case, you know, the doctor ever gets sick. The main doctor. I'm leaning more towards Bonnie. And I'm going to name that Cute Little Evie, since Cute Little Evie just showed up. So that's going to be our main decorator operator to start off with. Print. We go to our skills because when you print them, they start out with a brand new skill point. And let's start with... Well, let's start with decorating. We'll see if we can get decorating really, really early. Give him a hat. Go to the priorities. Decorating max. Operating... Yeah, operating max. And we'll deal with this thing later on. Right now, it's not as important. What was important was I just wanted a new worker at right now. All right, set the direction to when they're leaving, not when they're entering. It just saves time, really. And we're going to start with some stations, research stations, 2 of them. It's a special little thing that I do, which I enjoy. Go like that. Connect these up with a wire. I keep the wire underneath the tiles because it is a negative decor thing when they see wires. So I try and keep as much of it underneath the floor as I can. And we'll have them build these up. They got the bedrooms done. These are tiny, so they do not count as actual barracks so far. Yep, Chris is up there. Savior on a Stick is Void Melody's fiance or husband yet. He was picked from the random list. So you can watch the air quality in the background right now. It's a bright blue up here near the oxalite, but down here in the bottom it's gone kind of brownish, which is a lot of CO2, a lot of carbon dioxide, and very bad air quality in this purple stuff over here. It's something you really, really want to pay attention to. So I'm going to break up into here this round and clear out some room because I want the CO2 to drop down. I want oxygen to rise up. So I'm going to get into this oxalite that's up here. Get us a little bit more... oxygen coming in because this isn't spreading very far. You need 2 space for everything because only 1 square of a gas can pass through it at a time. So we want CO2 to be flowing down, oxygen to flow up. But you can see right here, there's a lot more oxygen than there is CO2, and the pressure in the area is only about 500 grams down here, but 1,300 grams up here, so it flows downwards. Okay, and we've got power, and we have research stations. We're going to go in, and we're going to start with food right away. That's the first thing we're going to start with, and I'm going to go all the way to the right as much as we can. We've only got novice research right now, which can be done at novice research stations, which is why I start with 2 research stations instead of just 1 and then an advanced research station. Early on, I rush the entire, like, up to tier 2 of all the research stuff, and then get the advanced research station after that's all done, because that depends on skills, and you need experience to get skills. So right now, they're building up the battery. We're going to get those operated going, and we're going to go into our actual priority screen, because now I'm setting priorities for everybody. Operating is allowed, farming is not, ranching is not, cooking is not, decorating is not. I'll leave doctoring where it is, toggling is max, life support max. And we're going to go in and we're going to see who's good at what, which you can tell by a little bit of color there. So, Dutch and Chillin's good at operating. He is our main... Oh, wow, he's got really good machinery. He is our farmer, though. So we're going to make sure his farming is max. And we're going to set his operating at a lesser priority than farming. So we'll go do farming first. Same thing with Evie, who is an operator. We're going to make sure the decorating is back to max. Operating is first, so Evie will be doing that a lot. Now, we need to decide who of our 2 people are going to be working on researching. That is, of course, going to be VIP because he's our doctor researcher. We need to decide who's our second person. They all have 0 skills, so I need to decide who is going to be the least important person and who can go do other things. For example, Evie, who has total skill points, has creativity. I want them off of that. They also have 1 machinery, so they'll be better to sit back and be doing the operating, which is the manual generator. So I'm going to get... Savior on a stick, no, not Savior on a stick, Dutch and Chillin, to actually switch to researching over operating. For now. And because he's the farmer and we don't have any farming done right now, and I need Savior on a stick to be doing our building. So we're going to set this building to max and leave everything else. Actually, let's set supplying and storing to low. I don't want them to spend a lot of time doing that. And we'll set now tidying to very low. Standard. There we go. That's decided who is going to be doing our researching, who is going to pay attention to it. That way we have 2 people on researching at a time. And this allows us to go off and build other things. We need to wait until they do a little bit more research before we can get a lot of stuff. God, this is really close. So we're going to work on shaping out things as they are going to be later on, which I need to think about a little bit and actually look at. I changed a couple things in my build and it looks like I did not account for that. Damn it. 3 I messed up again. I changed a couple things in my build. So it looks like we're going to waste a little tiny bit of resources to change things around. I forgot to change the blueprint that I pay attention to. We're going to allow them to keep researching. Actually, I could probably fill this with a little bit of battery. Save us some space as well. These 2 will stay researching as long as there's battery power. Yeah, I forgot that I kind of changed things around a little bit. This is actually going to save me some space here. And let me look at my blueprint again. And do some counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right there. I forgot this is my doorway out. It's a thing that happens. And this usually gets filled with nothing. So we're going to have our generators up here. We're going to clean this out a little bit more to allow more oxygen to come in. Guys, there's no battery attached to that. Do you want to stop? We're going to get the wire stretched up here, and I can put batteries down here once we have better batteries. Now, they're digging right now, so I want to make the priority of that first, so I'm going to change the priority of everything down here to 6. And we got a research complete, so that got us algae terrarium, compost, planter box, and ration box. Planter box I'm going to set right here like so very quickly, and then set the priority of that. Since there's a couple things of 6 priority over here, I'm going to set these to 7. So I want those to get done very, very quickly. Then they'll go back to other jobs. We only have 2 blossom seeds right now. I'm going to plant as many as I possibly can. Basically, the shine bug supplies light, so does the printing pod, and blossoms need light. The faster you can get those up, they're a much, much more enjoyable food source than meal lice, and they give more kcals. So I want to try and get those up quickly. Right now we're relying on nutrient bars that we spawned with, but they are not going to last forever. In fact, I need to set that to all. And 6, 7, whatever. So that those stay up. I might have just messed up by accidentally dumping the nutrient bars in case one of these hatches eats the nutrient bars. That'd be bad. Okay, shaping out things a little bit more while they're asleep. Basically using this to decide where things are going to go. There we go. The nutrient bars are put away. I don't have to worry about them anymore. We also use up water for planting, and we use up water in research. It can be pretty bad, especially when we're this low of water. I'm really worried about that. I'm really worried about the amount of water that we have. But I can do certain things to make that better, such as any wild planted any wild planted plant does not need water. So you can set them to harvest, like so. We will auto-harvest those when they are ready, and we'll get food from them. They also grow a lot slower than than farm-planted stuff because they're not fertilized, so you kind of balance it out. Now, there's no light down here for this bristle blossom. It needs illumination to grow, so I'm just going to uproot it and replant it up here. But the muckroot, they're a one-time use thing. The mealwood, on the other hand, is what I'm really going for here. The research was done. There is no more research. We're going to take down these research stations, those generators, and we're going to move our research over next to battery power, in the power section, which will give us jumbo power, switch, wire bridge, coal generator, and the wood burner. We got the electric grill, mess table, egg cracker, and farm towel from that last bit of research there, which I will use later on, but not at the moment. Alright, so we get meal lice from these mealwood. We got some muckroot. We'll sweep that up. We got oxalite here. And we got a new bristle blossom, which we will then replant. Now you see whenever, sorry about that, whenever the shine bug moves over to these, it helps it grow a little bit by illuminating it. It'd be better to put it near the printing pod, because that's natural light that stays there. It doesn't move. But eventually we'll have enough, so I don't have to really worry about it. Get back that little bit of copper there. And, of course, gotta activate those. I forgot. There we go, and the wire makes sure that those are getting powered down there in the battery. Now, we've got some bristle blossoms down here, which is really nice because we have a trapped shine bug. Oh, that's nice. That is super duper nice. I'm going to have to pull up this bristle blossom to get there. And I need to make sure that this shine bug stays trapped in that area. That'll be a great source of food, though. Skill points are being earned by people. VIP earned his first one. We're going to put it into researching. So he'll get +2 science and supercomputer usage, which will come in useful later on. We'll also give him a fancy hat. He loves the hat. So, like, right up here, we have a kind of problem, because we got the mealwood here, and I kind of want to leave it there for the extra K-cows that we're going to need. Because if we run out of water, we're dead. At the same time, I want to expand up that way. So, we're going to pull up these... Oh, I don't know. Nope. Okay. So we're going to uproot that. This is really tempting to use. There's a room called a nature reserve. It has 120 tile maximum size and is morale +6. But it needs 4 wild plants in it. So the problem is, I could do something like destroy this pneumatic door, leave the buried muck root and the 2 bluff briars right there, and have them be able to walk underneath it, and then just like put a roof over the top of all of that. And make this a nature reserve. Well, not... Well, like, leave that open and then destroy this pneumatic door. It would make the entire ladder section that we're using, when I get park signs, into a nature reserve. It's going to mess up my shaping a little bit, but honestly, making it so every single time they climb this ladder, they get a +6 morale bonus is... It's worth it. So we're going to start working on that. We can also... Stop. Don't do that. I need that muck root. Anyway, we can also cut out underneath of this. I want that copper, but at the same time, I want to cut that space out. Leave it for now until we know what our spacing is going to be like, because I need to make a lot more stuff upstairs of this now. Dupes need 2 space to move through. So we're going to shape out this whole thing. Make sure they can move through it. And we just earned more skill points, which I need to go check on. Dachin Chillin is going to start with farming, because that's going to be his major job. And Savior on a Stick, going for construction, as that's his major. And apparently we just... Did we just complete another research? We did. So we can start making our jumbo batteries down here. We'll leave this battery for now. This is basically just making it so my people don't have to be coming and running back constantly. And they're going to get trapped. They shouldn't be. You guys can jump up here. They can't get to the ladder. You guys do that? Nope, they can't do that. Okay, so Savior on a Stick is the one that's going to be taking care of these. These guys can't reach it to build it, and they have no material within here to build that ladder. I'm going to set this to yellow alert. That way, Savior on a Stick runs up there and does that for everything else. He will drop every other job in order to go do those ladders. It's the little bit of emergency planning that we can do. So, a little bit of free food. You know what, let's destroy that and get that Bristle Blossom Seed there. It's kind of deciding where we want to go and how we want to handle things here. What we want to keep as a natural resource and what we want to keep as a possible food resource later, you know? Okay, we got the Blossom Seed. We're also going to have to actually destroy this here in order to get this out of the way. Because right now this actually counts as a separate room when this is done. We need to destroy that little bit of copper ore there. Early game is pretty much the spot where you're going to fail, if you're going to fail at all. Alright, these two will jump off and do operating and repower the batteries before they get back on their primary job of research. Evie is running because he is an operator. His job is operating first and foremost. And now we got more batteries, so once the batteries are full, he will stop that, and our research is done all the way into the coal generator. So we're going to move down, look at what we might want next. I'm a little bit concerned about water usage. Normally I would go for the water cooler right here. Let's actually go all the way down, and I'm going to start on decoration. I want to get up to artistic expression. And we have another printing pod open. Now, because I am actually worried about food, we have a lot of wild food, but I'm worried about water usage. So, I don't want to get a new dupe this early. Allergies, narcoleptic, biohazardous are all really bad things that I don't want. So none of these dupes are good. Also, I have no briar seeds, and they're a good decoration. I'm going to choose briar seeds. Also, everything comes out of here at pretty much room temperature. So if your base is getting kind of hot, you can use that to cool down your base. So down here, I was focusing on this dude. Once this Oxalite clears out, of course, which I'm going to open this and have the Oxalite go up. You can also see the CO2 gathering up down here. I'm going to go and say, put a door here. I'm trying to trap this shine bug in as much as I can around these bristle blossoms. And we're going to put that to a higher priority when we break into this area. Now, we got this wild food. I'm still deciding if I want to get the wild food and keep it there. It's 2 meal lice that I wouldn't have to give water for. We got the bristle blossoms down here and kind of nothing else right now. Well, there's a bunch up here. There's a 1 meal lice, some bristle blossoms, lots of shine bugs, muck root. Yeah, we'll be fine if I destroy that. I want to shape out the rooms. So we're going to come up here. We're going to uproot all of these. And move them out. Alright, this room now counts for the whole thing, so we're going to go in, tile that off, get rid of the sand there. This is going to be our door out. We need to put up a new pneumatic door there. I'm kind of deciding how I'm going to shape things out. Told you to uproot that. This isn't long enough. Oh. Maybe 15 wide there. Note, it doesn't need to be. That's what I do. You do not have to build like me. I build how I build for a specific reason, which is mostly aesthetic purposes. You don't have to do it. I want them to do this. I'm going to go in there, set its priority to higher. Dust and Shillum will take care of it right away. And then I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to set 6 to make sure that we can get into this food quicker. They'll do it above the 5 priority stuff. Like I say, Eevee and Savior and a Stick aren't moving right now, so there's not enough work for them to do. So we're going to pause and not waste any labor by fitting out pretty much our entire room setup for a while. That way they have something to work on. Okay, so room overlay. This now counts as a latrine because it is over 12 tiles and under 64. We're at 57 tiles right now. Later on that will become a problem. Right now it's okay. Oh. I know why they can't get down there. There's not a ladder. Dupes can only jump 1 space at a time. And our research is done there. I'm going to go back in. We got all the way up to artistic expression. So we're going to come back up here and just start doing things one at a time, or see if there's anything that we might really, really need to get sooner than later. Such as plumbing. Yeah, that's a tough one. Because I'm worried about the amount of water we started with. Make sure everything down there is set to 6, so that Savior will do that first. VIP has fallen asleep again. Narcoleptic is annoying, but, you know, if you're not going to be doing much, it doesn't really matter too much. Alright, all the oxygen is going to come out. We're going to make sure to open up space for CO2 to travel down and oxygen travel up in a 6 priority. And I'm also going to go over here and set my toilets and wash basins to 8. Because when they need to be emptied out, they need to be emptied out right away. Now we're down to 18,000 kcals. The problem with that is we started out with about 20,000, and we kind of want to stay at about that rate. Dupes use, what's the math on that? I forget. How are you hungry? They use 1,000 per cycle, which is the whole thing around up here. They use 1,000 per cycle, so you need to make sure you have enough for the dupes coming, and also how much it's going to take, how long it's going to take for your bristle blossoms to grow, how many kcals you're going to get from those. It's 1,600 per bristle blossom, but for example, what just happened there? Oh, right. A new baby got born, so now technically this room is overcrowded. When it's overcrowded, they don't produce light because they're unhappy with the amount of room they have. He is only 19 out of 25, and that Shine Nymph is brand new. He is not going to lay another egg before he dies, so we're just going to go take him out. That way we get back to illuminating this whole room. Nobody was set to attack. When you look for attack, you look for excavation skill. Everybody else has a 0. He has a 1. We're going to allow him to go take that thing out. And there we go. We killed his poppy, mommy, whatever. They're genderless. Okay, there we go. Oxygen travels up. CO2 travels down. This should be full of CO2. Bristle blossoms don't care about CO2. Now down here, these two do not care about the amount of room they're in because they're not surrounded by... Woo-woo! They're not surrounded by civilized tiles. They're still technically wild. So they will move around all happy. This guy I would love to like drag into another spot, but we're not going to be able to do that for a very long while. You also need to make sure how much oxygen you have and how much you're generating this early on in the game until you actually have oxygen that you're making yourself. If I run out of the oxygen that I'm making myself, or if I expand too fast, we won't get enough pressure. If bristle blossoms or mealwood do not stay above 150 grams of pressure, CO2 or oxygen doesn't matter. They will stop growing. So like we look here, you can see a good pressure of oxygen is coming up, but up here we've got less than 500, and it's kind of going down and up as time goes on. So we want to pay attention to how much we're generating, or if we need to go break into some more oxalite. Oxalite will only emit oxygen under a certain pressure, which is good. It self-regulates. But you won't have it forever. Okay, we just finished our plumbing there. I think I'm going to keep going up. I'm going to start brute force refinement, and I'm just going to start doing all of the research as I can, since we got 2 people working on it at a time. That's also what I'm trying to break in here, is I'm a little bit worried about the amount of oxygen that we're getting, so I want to break into as much oxalite as possible at the moment. I'm going to go into harvest plants. I'm going to make sure we're harvesting all of these when they are ready. Like this one right here. It's almost ready. I want to make sure I'm harvesting it for food. We're not eating any cooked food at the moment, but it's okay. We don't have a cook. So you see up here on the outhouse, it's almost full. When it is full, we will plumb everything out of it and turn it into a bit of polluted dirt here. And the problem with the polluted dirt is it's emitting polluted oxygen constantly, which in the gas overlay here, and the materials overlay, turns up as this kind of greenish brown. Breathable, not healthy. So the reason that I went with this tiny room with a lot of bristle blossom and I don't plant mealwood very early is there's several things that you can do depending on the amount of water that you have and the amount of seeds you have, and whether you can tramp a shine nymph like this on getting your early game kcals. We're less than 15,000 right now, which, if our bristle blossoms don't grow quicker, is going to make it worse and worse. We've also got really lucky down here with this amount of bristle blossoms, with these amount of shine nymph. That is really fantastic for me, and is going to carry me along a long way. But it also means I am not going to be getting new dupes for a very long time, which is really obnoxious. Right now, I'm more looking at building my starting water reclamation area way earlier than I usually do. We also don't have a way to block off any gases over here, but I want to build it over here in time and take care of this chlorine. And that's obnoxious. Let's go ahead and get a pitcher pump right here. Liquid vent here. Those will make sense later. Right now, you can see the Saber on a Stick is catching his breath up here because there's not much oxygen, so he keeps having to run for more oxygen. This is what I said about spreading out too quickly. So very, very quickly, like the Oxalite down there's wore out. The Oxalite up here is the only thing I have left making oxygen. Pretty soon, I'm probably going to want to break into this up here for the amount of oxygen that we can get from there. I'm going to look at our research really quick and look towards... There it is. Decontamination is going to take a while, so we're going to go for manual airlocks. Right now, I'm actually going to stop research on colony development and the brute force refinement. You know, it's almost done. It's almost done. Did they break? Or did their animation break? I don't know. Anyway, they're running for more oxygen, which is something I do not want them to do. It interrupts work. They must work. So let's go ahead and break into here. It also means because we don't have much oxygen generation right now, I'm not getting a new dupe unless they're really, really good. Now we have hatchling eggs, which I can use for early game food. Mouth breather, biohazardous are things that I avoid. I'm actually going to go for the hatchling eggs. Because I can kill hatchlings and I can kill hatches and use them for food. That's actually good. Alright, the research is done there for brute force refinement. We're going to move right on down to pressure management. Am I going too fast? You guys got to tell me because I don't actually know. They go do the first job that they can see after the research is done, and then they come back to research. I want to get that done really quickly because I want to get... Oops. I want to get up to airlocks. Okay, so first tutorial of the day, we're going to look at water locks after this is done. So it's going to be a while. You can see the gram of the oxalite is going out. It should wear out any second. As it's emitting oxygen, its kilograms goes down. Boom, it's gone. Okay. First tutorial of the day, we're going to go with water locks. That's too low down. This is the basic shape of your basic water lock. Do I like that? I don't like that. You know what? I'll do the water lock shape later. I'll show you that. I'll show you that later once I get the manual airlocks. There's a way that I like doing my main base. That is not it. It'll mess up the shape of everything outside as well. But outside of here, I am going to go ahead and put ladders. Like so. There's ways you can dig that avoid having to use ladders. I choose not to at the moment. I might later. I'm watching my skill points earned. It's still at 3. So nobody's gotten new skills. But you see, this toilet is full, so Evie is going to sit there plumbing at it for a long time in order to clean it up. When he cleans it up, it's going to produce a polluted dirt, which again, polluted oxygen goes everywhere. We can also take care of that later, but that takes that would take us into advanced research to take care of the polluted oxygen, and I cannot get the decontamination yet. So I'm going to start down here shaping out exactly how our water reclamation system is going to work with said water lock that I just avoided using. Make it like so. We can't! We don't have the skills in digging yet, so I have to wait until Savior on a Stick gets 1 skill point, and he can get up to hard digging skill. Huh. Well, that ain't good. Hey, buddy, come over here. And also make a ladder and dig this out. Start on that right now, so that we can get to that oxalite and let it flow into the base. Little bit important that we keep breathing. The oxygen was not included with this game, and we are also down to 9,700 kcals. That's bad. Now, reasonably, whenever one of these gets to 100%, Dutch and Chillin should jump up and go harvest it. That is the reasonable assumption. It might not happen. Nope, it did. He totally jumped off and delivered dirt. Damn it. Come on. We only use 5,000 a day, so I still technically got about 2 days in the 10,500 range. But I don't want to run out completely, you know? Alright, that's a research complete. That's exactly what I wanted. We've got pressure management. And we're going to go back up here and start back on the next thing, which is advanced research. We're not going to use it yet. We're just sort of... There's nothing we really need at the moment. So I'm going to let it go and let them research down the line of Tier 1 and Tier 2 researches. The most important thing about that, however, is I'm going to take the manual airlock. And I am going to build our first basic airlock. So that we're not passing gases out into this area. Now, Omni, I hear you say. I mean, nobody's actually talking, but, you know, I'm pretty sure you thought about it. Why do you build 4 like that? Why not just build 1? Because even with... so pneumatic doors are... all gases and liquids pass through them. Manual airlocks, nothing passes through it while it's closed. The second that it opens, all gases pass through. I'll show you this design, and I'll show you exactly how it works and why it works. But I'm not going to do a tutorial video on the doors because, honestly, Cryptic Fox already did a bunch of those, and they work quite well. This is actually where I learned it, is Cryptic Fox. I'm not going to steal his work. He's a great guy. I love the guy. So I ain't going to do that. This needs to be done first, actually. So we're going to put that at 7. That will stay at 6. I want that to be dug out. And I'm going to dig out all of this, in fact, so we can get to that oxalate. I'm more worried about oxygen generation than blocking this off. Savior. The reason Savior is doing this first is because his construction in his priorities is higher than his digging. That's okay. He's going to get done with this really quickly. And we still got enough oxygen floating around. It's not all CO2. Just every once in a while, people stop to catch their breath. It's not interrupting a lot of their stuff. I would be more worried about pressure about pressure going so low like that our bristle blossoms stop growing. It's alright, we got things blocked off right now. So the way this works is basically one door will open. These double doors will open will open right after that. While we're waiting for this door to open, this door will close. And then all the door and everything in between them, all the gases and everything, get pushed right out or are completely destroyed. It's a way to allow, say, this chlorine and hydrogen to not get into my base. I want nothing but oxygen and CO2 inside my base. Alright, now he should go digging. Because people are actually holding their breath now, meaning that we are probably... Yep, we are more CO2 than O2 right now. The research was completed there. Let's go on to the next one. This is the great thing about having 2 research tables at the same time. Beginning research goes really, really fast. This is not going to be enough oxalite to start out with, so I'm actually going to say, hey, come on up here. Break into this. I want a lot of oxygen coming out of that area. It's the pressure differences between here because we've got less than 200 grams of oxygen down here. Well, it's, of course, building off of these. These oxalates are not going to last very long. I want to move up into here. There is almost 2 kilograms of oxygen up here. And it's fully pressurized, it's not even moving. I want all the CO2 to be pushed down to Dungeon Town, where it will stick here. How did he get out? No, that's not the one that got out. Okay, okay. I want it to be pushed. I want all the CO2 to be pushed down here by pressure. I'm going to break up into here. I'm going to open that up. Hopefully track these shine bugs somewhere else. But mostly I just want the pressure from the O2 up here to be pushing down into here and repressurize these rooms. Another way I can do that is airflow tiles, which I'm going to start using right away. That is not how that's going to be shaped. I forgot. And the air pressure tiles will help move, or the air flow tiles will help everything move around. Alright, we got a little bit of bristleberry there. However, I think the hatch is actually eating a little bit of it, so I'm going to kill that hatch off. It will attack me back, which will damage people a little bit, but when I kill him, I get a little bit of meat, which is 3,200 kcals all on its own. I'm also going to make sure that that is set as 6. I want to break up into there. A little bit of sand fell here, which is getting in the way of progress and those ladders. It's also getting in the way of oxygen traveling through this area. So I set that to 9. I want that to be gotten away with really, really quickly. Thank you, Evie. We go. Pressure will now move into this area. Chinchillin has stopped to take care of the plants. That's okay. What he's supposed to do. More sand falling down. Sand will always fall. It also just blocked off this. That's okay. Because I'm going to do something very special very soon, hopefully. And now the pressure from the oxygen up here. Why is my nose itching? Ugh. Pressure from the oxygen up here is pushing down and resupplying my entire base with tasty, tasty oxygen. The airflow tiles will help it move downwards and also help push the CO2 down. The thing is, airflow tiles cost metal, and I do not have a lot of metal, and so I can't use a heck of a lot of that. I'm going to use a ladder down to here. I'm going to let Savior take care of that. And hey, look! Mealwood ready to eat. We got some bristle blossoms up here, some mealwood, some muckroot. We'll send Dutch and Chillin' to go grab that. But hey, food. Food and oxygen. Looks like we've got some skill points. Nope, just Evie. He's not really doing anything major right now. Hey! Eclipse Sight!
That time thing did the passing it does.
That time thing did the passing it does indeed. Putting Eevee more into decorating, giving him a new hat. This one is yellow or orangish. Still got plenty of oxalite left. Usually you don't get oxalite this, oh, hello, natural gas generator. Oh, that's a nice geyser very close to me. That's good. It is putting out heat. So I'm gonna have to deal with that eventually, but for now, everything is about as hot as that is already. About 40 C. But until you get into like the 50-60 range, or 70-80 range, really, your dupes don't care about heat. The plants do. Bristle blossoms will only live underneath 30 degrees. Which, hey, me too. Okay, they're up to medical equipment. We're going to go to air systems next. And now I'm kind of considering whether I should move on next towards, like, getting a new dupe. But I'm thinking, no, not this early, because I don't have oxygen generation. The only oxygen that we're getting is either trapped oxygen or oxygen from the oxylite that we're finding. But that's not going to last forever. Not even going to last that long in the first place. So we're going to consolidate our water here. So all the water from here poured down into there, which is great. We're going to build up a new pitcher pump. Mop up the little bit of water we've got here. There we go. Water reclamation still has to be a thing, but until Savior levels up, we're not going to get to that. So, what do we want to work on next? I don't like where this ladder is here, because that's not the main ladder that we're going to have. This is the main ladder we're going to have. Let's start work on our kitchen setup, actually. Which I also changed the design on this very recently. First off, it's going to be a wash basin connected with an electric grill. And then 3 spaces away, we have an egg cracker. Ooh. I just realized that room might not be shaped right. 1, 2, 1. No, it's not. Why is that room not shaped right? We can deal with it. It's not a big deal. It only needs to be 3 wide in any space. We're going to clean this out, though, and get our kitchen started. At least shaped out. And I'm also going to clean... we can kind of leave this for a minute. Let's actually clean this out here, so we can access the water, and that'll allow us to actually take down most of these ladders and reshape our basin the way that we want it. Doot. Nope, wrong way. Right that away. People use it when they're leaving the kitchen. You're watching the black gather down here with the CO2. There's a lot of it. And not as much oxygen. So I kind of want to start thinking about algae diffusers. And how soon I want to build algae diffusers. It's not a good thing to have to build them this early. But I've kind of expanded out pretty wide and still found no clean water. And that's a worry. Not finding clean water this early, like only 2 tiny spots of clean water, it's not good. All the research done there. Keep moving down onto filtration. I think that was the next one. Yeah. Going through the research as fast as we are is a good thing, though. Right, this is done. I don't really want to move too much up here yet. I'm a little bit worried about breaking into that slime too early. I'll shape out where things need to go, but I'm not going to break up into there yet. Damn, that's not even going to be used. Unless I break into that. Yeah, that would actually be okay. Get some airflow tiles to keep things flowing. Skill point was earned. Hey, it is VIP. God dang it. We'll give him doctoring, and I'm going to change him to the doctor hat because I hate the scientist hat. It looks so dumb. Oh, hello. There is a shine bug down here. I want to try and trap him in there as fast as I can. I want to try and create another one of these rooms on the other side of that. The faster I can get him trapped in there, the better. Let's leave this a little bit here, start breaking down the ladders. A lot of the stuff I'm doing is, it's a weird shaped room, it will make sense later. Alright, break that, break that. Your dupes can reach from where they are standing 2 cells above their head. It's one thing to keep track of. Also, that Dutch and Chillin is not harvesting. Stop. Thank you. It needed to be told to, hey, you don't have to wait until you're done, buddy. It's okay. Alright, break this down, break that down, because we can reach the pitcher pump through this corridor now. Another skill point was earned. It was Savior on a stack. Yes! Go for hard digging, buddy. Go for it. Dig me hard. Wait. Ignore that. Go immediately towards building this thing. Research was done again. And it looks like we only have the one research left, which is Smart Home. Which is good. Wow, we went through our research. All tier 1 and 2 before cycle 15. That's impressive. We're also back up to 16,000 kcals, which is really, really nice. Starting on our reclamation, water reclamation spot this early as well. So things are looking pretty good. I don't want to create a new farm yet, because we can still handle the amount of dupes that we have food-wise. However, we are starting to get some rotting meal lice. That's not good. It's enough that we can deal with it so far. So I'm going to just leave it for now. And I might want to consider breaking up here into this polluted water. Let's check the germ overlay. It seems this polluted water doesn't have any germs in it. For the water lock, I'm going to have some kind of liquid. And the question is, do I want to keep using the water that I have? Or do I want to break into one of these polluted water areas and get that instead? Now, with the airlock system that I'm using, the manual airlocks, a little bit always does get in. A little bit of gases always exchanges between the rooms. The difference being that we don't get a debuff called Soggy or Sopping Wet, which can take down your morale really, really, really fast, and is honestly like really, really annoying. It's like popped eardrums, soggy feet, and sopping wet are things that you want to try and avoid if you can. They will take down your morale really quick, and morale is kind of important. So all of our tier 1 and tier 2 researches is done. The problem right now is that every single research from advanced research, which is that purple thing there, is going to take up water to do. So whatever I do, whatever I get, has to get me water. I'm going to start, of course, with the water sieve. And we need to build a new machine, so that research machine is being taken down. And is going to be replaced by the advanced research machine. I am talking really fast. And check out our looks here. Yup, lots of CO2. It is all moving down, and the O2 is slowly moving up. It just takes a while, and we've got a layer of polluted oxygen on top of the CO2. I do not like how much polluted oxygen we have right now, but there's nothing much I can do about it. We still got all of this oxalite. We are so high pressure, this oxalite isn't even generating. Wow. That is a lot of oxalite. Also, I just realized we cannot reach up here. If I destroy that one tile, they'll be able to reach up here. Get us more food. The colony achievement was earned. Da-da-da-da. Outdoor renovations. Construct a building outside the initial starting biome. Which is, of course, going to be this. Because we just moved into the igneous rock, which is... I think this is called the caustic biome, because there's bleach, there's hydrogen, there's chlorine. Alright, that was destroyed. We're going to go to stations right now and go for the supercomputer. It just gave me the notice that there's a missing research station. We're going to set that to the highest priority so it gets done really quickly. Because VIP here can only give novice research points, which is this bar right here. You need to get the advanced research station to get the second bar. And then only somebody who has the advanced research skill will be able to use it. Dutch and Chillin's got another point. We're going to put that right into agriculture and crop tending. So he's basically at this point faster at farming, faster at harvesting, faster delivering stuff. This is opened. I really got to decide if I'm using water there or not. Ooh. 2 narcoleptics, and I don't want those. The only people who stay in my base can be narcoleptics, which is a cook and a dock. And the noodle... Oh, man, that's tough. Because Rowan here is a builder, suit wearer, cook with diver's lungs, so his air consumption rate is lower, meaning that he can actually come in here and not use up a ton of oxygen. The problem is he's got noodle arms, so he can't carry very, very much. Negative 120 carrying capacity and negative 75% carrying speed. Not that necessary for a cook, but at the same time, you want a cook to be able to carry stuff because everything they carry is turned... Oh my god, I'm gonna have to go scratch my nose. Everything they carry is turned... The more stuff they can carry, the faster they can pump out more food and more kcals. I'm gonna go with the Arbor Acorn because those don't spawn in the basic map. So if I break in... if I break into the polluted water... it's going to have somewhere to flow. If I just use water, that's less water that I'll have later on, but I am building the reclamation system. Let's go with water. Set that to 9. Put it on auto bottle, because then they can grab from here to auto bottle all the way across. And there's a new skill point available. Nope, I thought there was. Problem is we're also using water in the supercomputer, which is what Dutch and Chillin is delivering right now. And we're using water in our bristle blossoms. So water is going to go in here. I didn't break into this spot yet, and you'll see why. I don't want this spot to start filling up with the CO2 or the O2 that we're pushing out here. I want it to stay as is, so I'm going to fill this with water first. And let's go ahead and just cancel that, just leave it for now. And break down that. We're done at 10,000 kcals, which means that getting a new dupe would have started to starve me really quickly. So it's a very good thing I did not get that new duplicant. We're also definitely not generating enough oxygen. I am going to start building up my oxygen diffusers. Question is where? Because wherever they go needs to be a spot where their pressure will equalize with everything around them. So, like, I don't want to, like, build it underneath a door or in a 2-tile spot because, like, it won't work as often. But also a spot where I can turn them on and off easy. You know what? Let's just go there for now, and I'll just manually turn them off. It's not a big deal. I like to have a switch between the oxygen diffusers and everything else, so I don't have to switch them off manually. It's fine. It's fine. Like this up here, still generating oxygen. It's not pressurizing very quickly. I could do certain things to cheat with that, such as actually finish up the airflow tiles, but that would mean that we run out of copper. I need that metal. We can also break into these spots a little bit, get a little bit more copper, but it's very, very tiny amounts, and I can't break out these ones that have bristle blossoms in them because, well, food. So I gotta decide where my copper is coming from, how much of it I'm taking up, if I'm going to destroy plants with it, if I'm going to open up more areas where the oxygen will spread and I won't be pressurized. It's a lot to think about. So I opened up one edge of my bathroom right now, and I want to keep moving on with expanding that in the shape that I want. That should do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, cool. Anyway, so this isn't pressurizing exactly, and I need to get more copper in order to pressurize that. We are slowly delivering water over here. Looks like nobody is working on that. So Dachin Chillin is no longer researching because he doesn't have advanced research. Even when VIP is on this, the novice research was done first, so there was nowhere for Dachin Chillin to go hang out and do research on the novice research thing, which is the only one he has. I could have given him a point in advanced research, but at this point, everything after this is kind of... Like, everything after tier 1 and 2, I'm okay with doing it with just the original 3, you know? We're going to move on to improved plumbing next. At this point, it would be decontamination, improved plumbing, or insulation. And because we're having such a problem with water over everything else, or at least that's the problem that's going to come in, I'm going to go with improved plumbing first. That's what we're going to be working on. This is set to 9. Wonder why nobody's delivering to it. So pressure coming from above is going to be making pressure down below. We should be getting all the CO2 down here. There's a little O2 trapped here, but it does flow out eventually, especially when the pressure from the CO2 gets higher than the pressure from the O2. And then the O2 should move up. You know, quote unquote, should. Mostly, I'm just trying to make it so that my researchers... See, right there, when... Actually, let's set the priorities on there. That one is going to be set to 6. That one's going to be set... Or that one's going to be set to 7. This one is going to be set to 6. Hopefully, we can get VIP to do the advanced research station first. So the Dachin Chillin can help out with a smaller research station. We can get the research done faster. Another colony achievement was gotten. I thought. Because I just saw it. It was 1 bed, 1 bath. Yeah, bed and bath. Have at least 1 toilet in the colony and a bed for every duplicant. It said I just got that. Weird. Okay, so problem I am running into currently. This room is now 64 tiles with everything that I want in there, and thus does not give the morale bonus anymore. I've got space in between all of the stuff in order to give a morale bonus later on and to shape how I like it. Well, in order to make things smaller, I'm actually going to grab some granite here, and I'm going to start spacing it in between everything else. And of course, this needs to be airflow tile. That way, it'll shrink down the size of the room, and later on, I can deal with decor when they're spending a lot of time in that room, because they do spend like maybe like I don't know, a fifth of their day in the bathroom and going back and forth between the bathroom. I want to make sure that when they go back and forth between there, that, you know, they like how it looks. I mean, you personally might not care how your bathroom looks. Duplicates do. They care about their environment. They care about how it looks. Where's Chinchillin going? What are you doing, buddy? What's he doing up there? That was weird. Oh, would you look at that? Is anybody gonna deliver that water? We're mostly just delivering water to the research station, which is fine, but VIP keeps falling asleep. Also, I'm gonna open up the doors that they commonly go in just to... They pause a little bit at the doors, and if doors are on auto, they will stop for a half a second at it. I could speed them up a little bit by just opening the doors. I don't want to open them and let, like, shine bugs in, though, because then they'll just be waking people up. Yeah, Chinchillin is just delivering a bunch of water, which is kind of the problem. Like, I'm fine with building all this stuff up, but we need to get water reclamation started. That's not going to last us very long. Plus, I don't like its position. We have plenty of oxygen, it just needs to move around a little bit faster. But, like, if we want to expand our farming in order to keep our K-Cows up to get new dupes, that means we need water. So I gotta kind of decide what I'm gonna do about that, you know? The advanced research machine ran out of water, so VIP switched over to the novice research machine to keep going while Chinchillin goes to grab some more water. Oh no, he went to farming. Oh, what a trooper. Where's Savior? There he is. Okay. I'm trying to think of a way to speed up supplying that pump faster. Now, I do have to say that right now, technically, this is a water lock. Technically, it's a water lock, because even with this tiny, tiny amount of water in here, it is the entire square counts as liquid, which is why there's vacuum in here, because nothing can move through. However, every single time a dupe moves through it, I believe they get a little bit on their feet or something like that, or the water can get too hot and evaporate. Any number of things can happen, which will make it so the water will get lower. So while this does work as a technical water lock, I personally don't trust it. In fact, I'm gonna test that out really quick. That is at 37.3 water. We're gonna see if when somebody moves through it, it will actually affect how much water is in there. If it does, it's gonna be obnoxious. Because I've seen, like, after a while, water just sort of drops down. And the amount of water in there will drop down. If it is true, you know, now we know that every time a dupe moves through water, they take some of it with them. I don't know if it's actually true or not. But it's going to wait a while. It's going to be a while until they do, because I've got to let them finish all their building projects first. We don't have a digger. We have a builder, we have a farmer, we have an operator. And we have a researcher who just got to finish their research. Next, I should probably work on decontamination, but again, water. Early on, water is a massive problem that you really have to pay attention to. I really got to decide what I'm doing with it. Decom is too important, though. It's decom and insulation that I'm going to have to do. But again, at this point, we've got one more worker because the farmer is, you know, working on everything else with us instead of researching. There's another poke shell spawn. There is Decorator, Builder, Digger, Vomiter with Gastrophobia, and increased athletics. That's really good. It's a big risk with the amount of cake health that we have right now. I could go for the Unconstructive Cook as well. So do I want a Digger? It's a really good Digger. That's a really good Digger. Alright, so this one is going to go to Eclipsite. Eclipsite, because he just subscribed for 11 months. Thank you, Eclipsite. I'm going to go into skills. Give him hard digging. Give him a hat. Priorities. Because he's got the extra excavation, his attack is a little bit higher, and he will be doing more combat. And make sure that he does all digging before he does building. So we'll actually have somebody that's starting to dig. Good stuff. Now, one thing. I've got 5 dupes now. So I'm going to go into a little tutorial here. So I have 5 duplicants now. We just got Eclipsite, who is going to be our main digger, because I like to specialize my dupes. And we're going to go look at the scheduling. Now, scheduling is kind of a... How do I put this? It's very optional. It doesn't really change things. A lot of people like to make it so that when you have more than 4 dupes, or more than however many dupes you have as bathrooms, you build each and every duplicate their own individual bathroom attached to their bedroom, sort of like an apartment. Personally, I don't like to do that because you don't have to do it. I like to do scheduling. Scheduling is, again, very optional. But what I do is I go add new schedule. This will basically be first shift, and I'm going to make this second shift. So we're going to put this 2 hours ahead of everything else. And make sure all the schedules match up. Bath time matches up, and we're going to move Eclipsite down to there. He'll be on his own schedule. I put 4 people on each schedule because I have 4 bathrooms and 4 wash basins. Eventually, you know, latrines. And sinks. This makes it so I only ever have to have 4 sinks. I only ever have to have 4 toilets. I only ever have to have 4 showers. The major thing about this is I have more space to move around, and everybody is on their own schedule, so there's always somebody working. Generally, a lot of people don't pay attention to scheduling unless there's like early bird or night owl. But I like to shift them around with scheduling so there's only 4 people on at a time. And that way we've got more labor going on. Somebody is always working. Somebody is always there to rescue people who get injured. Somebody is always there to toggle things that might be happening in the middle of the night. Stuff like this. You can spread people out pretty wide, and also you only have to have 4 of everything. So that's how scheduling works. This was a quick and dirty video. Thank you. I am OmniRusted. Alright, we're going to keep going. Right now, I see that we've got really good oxygen. Oh, and I need to write down what time I just did that. That was at 1:38. I want to make small tutorial videos like that, and I figure I might as well use this as I'm building them up. Also, there's no bed. I'm sure Eclipsite would like a bed. We're going to make it out of granite, because granite gives decor plus 20%. Makes the room look a little bit better. You can see the decor right now is pretty terrible in these rooms. Negative 13.5. Only negative 30 because of the debris. Positive value because of tile. But if we do a granite bed, it'll be towards 20% for the bed itself. It helps out a little bit. Algae deoxidizers, or oxygen diffusers as they're now called, use up oxygen, or use up algae. If I don't have a lot of algae, I don't want to leave them on all the time. They also use up power, which not a big deal, but whatever. So right now Eclipsite is sort of in this room being constantly woken up by the shine bug. Because I forgot to build him a bed. Set that bed to build first. They're going to wake up pretty unhappy with the sore back. Unrested is immunity negative 10% per cycle and stress plus 10% per cycle. It's pretty bad. Alright, so testing out this right now. Come here, Evie. This is 36.9, or no, 36.8, no, 37.3 grams of water. This is 37.3 grams of water. There's vacuum on the other side. I'm going to walk Evie through it. 36.9. Got soggy feet. Gained water? What? I still don't trust it. I don't know how that just gained water. Well, it looks like the water is just changing. But, oh, that was temperature. 37.3. What? I still don't trust it. It's weird. Anyway, we're going to shape out and build our water reclamation service now. Because I need to be getting that done. There is a shape that I always use for my basic water reclamation room. I'm going to show it to you guys right now, and after it's done, I'll do another little tutorial. It's, you don't have to build it this way, it's just a cute little thing that I like to do. That is something I don't have yet. Okay. I'm using up precious copper right now. All right. We're gonna get more as we go digging. I can't build here because the pinch of pepper plant's there. I'm gonna uproot that in order to get that done. The most important thing, though, is this has to stay vacuum. For now. We're going to be trying to get the chlorine up into this room. Okay, so, coming back to the latrine right now, we can see that we got all of these tiles done. I'm going to look at it again. It is now a latrine, again, with the +1 morale bonus, because I filled up a couple tiles with these granite tiles. Later on, I will go into... Well, let's just start that now, actually. We can do that now. Not sandstone. We got a little bit of granite. I'm going to grab some of those, and I'm going to make sculpting blocks all the way across here. We're going to hit 8 because I still want them to be doing these first. And we got enough water that I can sort of fart around a little bit with my time. No skills yet. They take a lot of building. A lot of building time. It takes a lot of granite to build them, but we're going to be getting a lot of granite because pretty much all of this stuff along the edge of the caustic biome is granite. And let's go make sure really quick. Evie is going to be our decorator and has up to... his creativity is up to 8. It might not be the max, but for now it's good enough. The room in here is hideously ugly. Total decor is hovering around the toilets. It's negative 150 to 140. It's really, really bad. Outhouses are negative 54 a piece. They're terrible. People do not like looking at toilets for some strange reason. We can up that a little bit by making granite sculpting blocks, which granite, it gets that plus 20%, and then having Evie make good sculptures out of them. Looking at decor again up here with the granite bed. It doesn't change anything. I thought the beds changed something. Huh. Apparently it doesn't. This entire time I thought beds did. His first one is a mediocre sculpture. It is quaint. And it gives a positive decor value of 36. Which is still really, really good. But you can already see the decor starting to go up in these areas. So we're going to build up all of the statues, let Evie start taking care of those. Making her bathrooms look prettier, and it'll give us a slight morale bonus over the day. Stress goes up or down depending on the amount of decor that they've seen over the whole day at the end of the night. So new friend is +10 is a -10% per cycle, high morale -20% per cycle, sleeping -20% per cycle, smelled flowers -5% per cycle. So I was talking about allergies earlier. Oop, is that Evie? Nope. I thought somebody just got a skill point. Anyway, I was talking about allergies earlier and why they're bad. I use bristle blossoms because they give floral scents in the air. If you do not have allergies, floral scents are great. Why is there food poisoning on the beds? Anyway, if you don't have allergies, floral scents are great. -5% morale per cycle. It's fantastic. If you do, you're sick all the time. Somebody dragged in food poisoning germs. Because this door is still open. They cannot go out this way. They can go out this way. They can come in, but they cannot go out. That way they have to pass by a wash basin. This is what happens when you don't pay attention. Oh no. We might get some in the water. God damn. It's everywhere. This is what happens when you don't pay attention to doors in bathrooms. You want to make sure a wash basin or sink is always, always, always in front of the latrines. I did not, and now I have to set everybody to very high tidying, because we need to disinfect everything of poo. I feel kind of dumb. Oh, the research just got complete there. Good. I'm gonna keep VIP off researching for a little bit so that we can be shooting bleach at everything. Of course, Evie isn't. Evie's too busy sculpting. He's making that same moon over and over and over again. Meh. It's plus decor. I'm going to destroy him later anyway. For now, making moons over and over again is fine. Apparently, it's just mediocre. Good enough is good enough for me. Alright, are we all done? Yes, we have solved the food poisoning. Excuse me, VIP. Wash your damn hands. You disgust me. Yup, he got it all over again. God damn it. So, right now, this was vacuum. We broke into this area, so there's a little bit of hydrogen getting in here. It's fine. I'm more concerned about the chlorine getting in. Hydrogen is lighter than chlorine, so while the chlorine will get in, it will try and equalize with the hydrogen. Hydrogen is less dense, so it's going to stay along top. Hydrogen is, in fact, I'm pretty sure it's the lightest. I don't remember if it's lightest against natural gas, which is methane. But I'm pretty sure hydrogen is the lightest. Alright, now we have solved the food poisoning crisis. I'm going to move on to insulation next. It's more important for me to get this done right now. Oops, I forgot. Tile right here. Get rid of that, get rid of that. That is going to be a gas vent. And deodorizer is done. We're going to get a deodorizer going here. We've got a little bit of polluted oxygen moving around. There's honestly not much I can do about it at the moment. I'm going to be doing something with it soon. And I don't want to destroy the statues, those beautiful, beautiful moons that Evie has made. For the decor bonuses, decor has gone up significantly in these rooms. So it kind of equals out a little bit. We got mediocre sculptures, 2 of them, which is plus 36 apiece. They kind of... Wait, is that plus 36 apiece or... No, it's not. That's like 18 apiece. It kind of balances out the negatives from the outhouse, which are not negative 45 apiece like I thought. It's negative 18 apiece. So they do, the mediocre sculptures balance out the decor from the outhouses. If Eevee gets better than mediocre, it's going to be more attractive than the outhouses. For now, though, I'm just letting the rot and the polluted oxygen happen. We'll take care of it later, but not for now. I want to get Water Reclamation Center set up first. Also, we're just not getting skill points, which is very strange. Eevee should have gotten a new skill point by now. Very weird that he hasn't. Also, we are going through this water very fast. I have never seen this shine bug underwater before. That's weird. I've never seen them underwater before. Alright. Farming, don't need a farmer. With a small bladder especially. Don't need a flatulent researcher. Don't need a mouth breather biohazardous farmer. I'm going to go for the Oxalite just for a little bit of extra O2 in the air. Oh, damn. The water is going down so fast since we started advanced researching. So we see here the hydrogen is moving through this cell. Since there's no water in this cell, it's not moving through this one. And it is the grams in there is 37.1 grams of water with a little bit of food poisoning germs. So it is actually going down very slowly. And the more people pass through it, the worse it'll get. So I want to be filling it up with more water. If anybody would actually do their job. So with the system of airlocks that I have right now, pretty much people will come out, hold their breath while they're working, and they can hold their breath for a long time, and then come back in to catch their breath at the with the oxygen, which is why I put the oxygen diffuser right there. We do still have oxygen repressurizing from up here. As you can see, a lot of the Oxalite has actually gone away, and this one is actually activated. But it is not going to catch up anytime soon, and we don't have enough of copper to really make more of these airflow tiles. So until I get more from somewhere, we kind of just got to let it go. Oh, there's a little bit I can grab up here. And now we're at a food shortage because we do not have enough kcals of food for everybody to eat tomorrow. This is one of the things I said that I was afraid of. We do have a lot of hatches around, and I know that we can get more hatches from the printing pod. So we're going to go and we're going to have hatch tomorrow morning for breakfast. It's the very thing that I was afraid of. Now, the one thing I do have to worry about is killing them in the bathroom might give them some food poisoning germs. It did not look like it did. There's a little bit of food poisoning germs in the air, but food poisoning germs do not last very long in the air. It just smells like doo-doo. But I do want to get these out of here very quick and into the food ration box before they get eaten by something else or they go bad because of the amount of polluted oxygen or food poisoning germs in the air. Now, the polluted oxygen is what is putting the food poisoning germs in the air. It's not high enough yet to really worry me. So you can see the outhouse has 650,000 food poisoning germs and polluted dirt inside of it. The oxygen keeps getting a little bit, and then it goes down very quickly because oxygen does not deal with food poisoning germs. It kills it pretty quickly. So I don't have to worry about the polluted oxygen in there too much. It will get taken care of here very, very quickly. Let's keep on building this thing. I've got a lot of igneous. I love igneous rock. Start using it here. I use the same blueprint for my water reclamation center every single time, and I love it. It has never done me wrong. Did we stop researching? Nope, he's still researching. God, I still don't know if this water changes when people walk through it. Like, they're shaking their feet off? They're shaking droplets off their feet. Does that mean that they're losing out on water? Or does it just mean that they're bitchy because their socks got wet? I can understand that. I hate having wet socks. Is it worth it to just keep that one little tile there? I don't know. Oh, we got some skill points. We definitely did. VIP got a new skill point. I'm going to put that into duplicate treatment, because now that we're outside the base, we're going to start running the risk of getting slime lung. Eevee did get one. He is going to go into Masterworks decorating. This is, as you can see over here, this is going to take up the last bits of his morale, but thanks to Eevee, we're going to get more morale. This balances out. He is now a Masterworks decorator. He gets a red hat. We're also going to go in and destroy every single one of these things. I told you they weren't going to be there long. We also got a colony achievement called To Pay the Bills from that. Didn't we? Should have. It's right there. Use a duplicate skill points to buy out an entire branch of a skill tree. I don't know why it's still buggy. I mean, they just released it today. I'm not going to expect miracles. Also, it looks like we are done with that last little bit of research. So we got insulation tiles now. This is all we need for the reclamation system. I want to move on to... what should I do next? Yes, this. I want that park sign. I want the park sign next. Now, a lot of people are going to wonder, why do I just leave these up here when there's a little bit of X next to them and I can take them down? Honestly, there's no point in leaving them. There's no point in taking them away. You're going to, like, everything up here, unless it's red, you're going to ignore it. You're going to learn to ignore it later. It's not important. I had just enough K-Cows to feed everybody today. And I have just enough to feed them tomorrow. Hopefully some of our Bristle Blossoms go. It looks like some of them are going to come up. Yep. Not very many, though. We got some down here as well. Now, I gotta keep in mind, while having these shine bugs in these rooms, they eat bristleberry. So they might eat a little bit off of the bristleberries that we are making, so I want to make sure that we have somebody who's going to be running them back and forth to the ration box very quickly. We are not so low right now that I have to worry about the amount that a shine bug eats. Alright, back to sculpting blocks. Make more sculpting blocks here. In the middle of them working on these reclamation things. Cultivatable soil. No, do we not have any sand yet? We've found sand. Filtration medium, that is it. Filtration medium 6. Oh, and we're gonna have to go and get a wire out here from the batteries. About right here. There's also something I want to consider. We've got batteries in our main entrance hallway right now. Batteries put out 1.25k DTUs a second. They put out a lot of heat. Same with the supercomputer. The supercomputer is 4.5k DTUs a second, but that isn't used as often. The batteries are constantly putting out that much heat. I want to actually move my batteries outside the base as soon as I possibly can. It's expensive on copper, though, and we are incredibly low. Usually you get a lot more copper than this. That's because it's all over here. God damn it, it's all over there. I see. I see, I see. So Eevee should be able to make Masterwork or Genius sculptures now. He makes Masterpiece, and Masterpiece is plus 24 radius. Beautiful. Look at that. Oh, he made a Genius? Oh, that's a Genius sculpture. Some of these are Masterwork, some of these are Genius. The Genius sculptures are also plus 24. Oh, these are all Genius. It just says Masterpiece on them. Okay. Genius is the highest kind of sculpture you can make, so that's good. The most important bit, though, is outhouses are a negative 18 decor. Genius sculptures are a plus 24. We're actually making more on that decor-wise than we otherwise would. The only problem is that we still got debris around, which gives negative, but now total decor around outhouses is in the positives, which is perfect. We are barely staying above on K-Cows right now. And I think that might be our last muck root that Eclipsite is eating. I might consider getting a cook in this next one. If we get a good cook, the hell was that noise? I might consider getting a cook in this next run to expand the amount of K-Cows that we have. We're still barely able to keep up with food, so another mouth to feed would be bad. But if we can get gristleberries, that changes the 1,600 K-Cows from bristleberries into 2,000 apiece. That's plus 400 per bristleberry. And if we get this up, water problems are going to be a thing of the past anyway. God, look at the size of this thing. That's a ridiculous amount of natural gas being taken up in there. And plus 5.8 kilograms a cell. That's an insane amount. We can start changing all of this water over to good water for us. That's good. Pressure staying average. I'll get a cook if there's a good cook. There's not a good cook. There's a good operator who has gastrophobia and can do cooking. There's a mouth breather, which I will not get. There's a yokel. There's two people with gastrophobia and a mouth breather. What is this game? I'll make the poke shell spawn. Now, to get him out of here, we kind of need to drop him into this room. There's two ways we can do that. Either we could wrangle him, but I don't have that research yet, or we can basically destroy the cells underneath him so that he drops down into the bathroom. We'll see if we can pull this off. To drop him in here and get it so that he will start... Oh, never mind. That was useless. We have the compost heap now. The compost heap takes polluted dirt and turns it into regular dirt. And he got up there. What a little douche. I already don't like you, buddy. We'll wait for him to get big and then turn him into food. We're getting a little bit less blue down here than I'd like, so I'm going to turn this thing on to equalize pressures and create more oxygen. He is a tiny baby right now. He should grow up. Happiness plus 5. Wild, happy, hungry. I forget how long it takes them to reach adulthood. But if we need to kill him, we can kill him. Alright, I think this is the last of the research I want to do for a long while. We got the park sign now. I could wrangle him down there by getting ranching, but I don't want to waste more water. It might be advanced power regulation we want to go for next. Maybe, but that's a while off. I think we're good for now. So we're going to turn these off. These still take up a tiny little bit of power, even if nobody's using them. We'll turn them off, stop using that power, and continue working on calorie. I call the manual generators calorie power because it takes up time from your dupe's day to sit there and run on those and generate power for the batteries. There's nothing using power from the batteries, but all batteries, no matter what they are, always lose a little bit of power. You can see it losing like 0.1 kilojoule a second. It's just enough to worry you, basically, and like jumbo batteries will run out of power on their own. Let's go ahead and kill this guy. He's all the way over there. And we'll kill this guy down here. Just get their food. I'm not expecting much in the way of bristle blossoms today. Oh no, we're gonna get like 2 today. Maybe 3. Eh. More calories is always good. Also really need to start sweeping these up more often. There, that got us a little bit of kcals for the day. Eh. Whee! If there's no place for them to go, the sweep icon will turn red, meaning that they can't actually put anything away. The only storage thing we have is the automated storage capacity, or the ration box is the only thing we have right now. 1 battery built there means that these batteries need to go kaput. And we now have all 5 dupes working together now to build up our base. And this will also take the heat that they are generating outside. It is currently 28.4 right here. In the bedrooms, it's 24.9. It's gone up by 4 degrees in that small of a space just because of the batteries. Well, and the supercomputer. Which is also why that current got turned off. We don't have any cooling things yet, and everything outside is much hotter than is inside. It's 45 degrees out here and almost 40 inside our water reclamation center. In here, I'm going to change this to rot pile and polluted dirt, but they get shipped there. And you know what? I'm going to do this now because there's not much in there. I'm going to take all my polluted water. I'm going to put it in this room and have it poured out of these 2 pumps for now. Just to make it stop delivering polluted oxygen into our base. I'm not really worried about it, but it's enough that it bothers me. I'm going to gain a skill point. It was Savior. Let's actually go. So improved construction will just make him construct faster. Super hard digging will go into abyssalite mining, which we don't need yet, and we actually do have a digger in Eclipsite. I'm going to go for improved strength, because this will make it so that he actually like carries more stuff to where he's building. Also, while we're in the skills section, you can see the morale that they have. As long as their left-hand morale stays above their right-hand morale, that's all that matters. Dodge and Chilling got another point. Do we want to keep him on farming, or do we want to start putting him into tinkering? Or get him some strength? Because improved carrying is plus 400 kilograms carrying capacity, but it does not give the same kind of morale bonus that anything does with the hearts on it. I'm going to put him into farming, plus 2 agriculture. He has now mastered farming. And I think the oxygen that we've been producing from this one diffuser is enough that I can turn it off now. We're still... No, we're not getting oxygen from up above anymore. All of the oxalite is gone. Huh. Sweep up that bristle blossom very quickly, because I don't want them to eat it. It's for me. Shine bugs will, even if they're not eating anything, will still lay an egg before they die. So they don't have to really be eating. You don't have to feed them. So you see, nothing is using the power from the batteries, but they're still losing power a little bit over time, and people keep running back to the manual generators to do that. Another skill... Nope, I thought that was another skill point. I need to learn the skill point sound. I think it's the same sound as, like, you now have enough material to build this thing. Like that noise. So, I don't know. It's also the same noise for attribute increase. Be nice if it was a different noise. So we've got a little bit of chlorine down here. And a lot more down here. Wow. Let us do a thing here. Right there. And I'm actually going to try and get some more chlorine into this room. Because in your water reclamation room, you want to just fill to the brim with chlorine. The ways to do that are either get a lot of bleach stone, which I haven't encountered bleach stone yet. It's way over here. Or to just have chlorine naturally float in there on its own. The chlorine, of course, being this green gas. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to go over here. I'm going to put a ladder down all the way to here. And clear a little bit of room so the chlorine can float up. And I'm going to use natural density of the gases to get it up there as fast as I possibly can. Okay, my 2 liquid reservoirs are up. Well, almost. There we go. So I'm actually going to come in here. I'm going to sweep all of that, because now we have a place to go take polluted water. And sand. But mostly polluted water. We can start working on how this room is supposed to work. So the polluted water gets taken into this room. Or at least I thought it did. Nope, it got dumped right there. Excuse me. If they run out of breath, they drop whatever they're doing. Why are you putting sandstone in there? What are you doing? Oh, you're building the dirt. So basically, like I said, you stop paying attention to these 2 notices here. You sort of just leave them there and occasionally glance at them after your first few skill points. After you can do things like do the hard mining, the advanced research, doctoring, you sort of just ignore them until like you just glance up there every once in a while and go, "Oh, is that a little bit better? Hey, Barath. Yeah, that's a great band." Okay, come on, deliver the water. There we go. The water gets sucked up here. It goes into these 2 liquid reservoirs, which are backup reservoirs, before being put into the water sieve, which turns it into pure water, pumping into these reservoirs. Of course, later on, that'll be a lot bigger. And then we'll actually use the water later on. But first, in order to do that, we need a lot of material. I would prefer to make them out of gold. But to make them out of gold, I have to dig up into the slime biome, because that's the only place you find gold. So first, get this room done. Get chlorine in there. Then we'll figure out what to do. The good point is, we're making water. I'm also, for the purposes of sweeping, gonna make a bunch of storage bins. It's time. I can start making storage bins and start cleaning things up for decor purposes and morale. The morale in skills is not as high as I would like it to be. Like right here, Chinchillin, he is equal with the amount of morale that he has. If it goes down by even 1 point, he'll start to get stressed out. You see here, Eevee's got 7% stress. I want to avoid that. One of the ways to avoid that is to improve the decor of a room, which means improving and getting rid of debris. So we're making these, setting them to sweep only, so they won't just pick up anything, they'll only pick up what I tell them to pick up. All. And then make sure that, like, things that produce a gas, such as polluted dirt and rot piles, do not go in these rooms. Industrial ingredients, all of that is fine. Later on, I'm going to need to keep coming back here and checking it out. And now we're going to hit copy, and paste everything here. Now, anybody who is free will go to the priority 5, well, these are priority 9, but the priority 5 sweeping errands and sweep out those areas. Anything that is priority 6 will, of course, be done first, so I'm going to set this to priority 6. Oop, and there are new printables available. Ranching, supplying, tidying. Nothing good. I kind of like those supply and tidiers because, like, one is Streptophobia and is destructive. I would never take him, even though he has Twinkle Toes. So he could sweep super fast. That one has Gastrophobia. Cannot do a cook. Cannot do cooking. Vomiter, which is good. Grease Monkey, which is good. +7 strength, which is good. The Rancher is a gourmet, so he needs better food. He's also a slow learner with noodle arms. He's a really terrible rancher. However, hey look, free KCals. Omelets. Boom. Let's go and find that omelet there. Sweep it up as fast as we can so that the poke shell doesn't need it. Poke shells only eat polluted dirt and rot piles. He's not going to touch it. That's fine. I'm going to set the priorities on the sweepings to 5. And make sure the priorities on all of those stay at 8. I don't want them to do the sweeping bits first. I want them to do sweeping bits when they're not doing anything else. Like, yeah, I want to clean out these rooms. But not as much as I want to get the water reclamation center ready. More important. Much more important. Another colony achievement. It's not raw. I don't know why the colony achievements aren't working. Have a duplicate eat any cooked meal prepared at an electric grill or gas range. Do people not do that? How is that an achievement? Oh, that's right. There was a little bit of something down here earlier, so I set it to a 9 priority to be swept up. It's fine. They'll get back to work eventually. There's a bunch of stuff that's important to do. Oh, wait. I forgot. The priority screen. Tidying is at max. Standard. It needs to be set to standard. Boom. Also, you are need to dock first. There we go. There we go. Now they'll stop sweeping and get back to work. While I'm in here, I'm going to get some of this Balm Lily and pinch of Peppernut. I'm going to grab it while it's available. But mostly it was opening up the chlorine into this area. The polluted dirt, the polluted air I also want to come up, but the chlorine is the most important thing to want to come up. So, Eclipsa, you're stuck. How did you even get up there? Anyway, there's a lot of hydrogen in this room right now. I need to move the hydrogen out of there. The way to do that, deconstruct that, deconstruct that. We're going to let hydrogen into this room. We're going to use the density of these areas to get this room filled with chlorine. So the hydrogen will move out to fill up the much less dense CO2 and O2 that are in this area. I kept them low on purpose. I opened this up so this will move over to here. And then the chlorine will follow to fill up the density of the hydrogen that is evacuating this small area. The polluted air will be taken care of by this deodorizer whenever there is a bunch of it. But the main thing is there's no chlorine up in this room. There's tiny little bits of chlorine in this room. It doesn't matter. Chlorine is much less dense. It's about the same density as CO2, so it'll come down while the hydrogen will go up. We want all of this to be filled with nothing but chlorine, which is not going to happen here. So I'm going to deconstruct that. I'll fill that up really quick, just so the hydrogen moves in the direction that I want it to. Because I want the chlorine that's down here to expand out as much as it can. I can also help it out a little bit by doing like this. Let's actually cancel that, break up into here, and start taking down as much of this bleach stone as we can. Bleach stone naturally will generate chlorine on its own. So if we grab that, as much of it as we can, and bring it into here, it will start generating chlorine and fill this room with chlorine. There we go. The bottom is filled with a line of oxygen, CO2, polluted oxygen, and chlorine. There's still a lot of hydrogen up top. I might want to actually clear out a little bit more of this room up here. Not on the rooms that aren't finished yet. There we go. We'll clear out more room for hydrogen to move into. In the meantime, anybody who's not doing anything can store stuff to clear out debris. That is definitely one skill point. And Eclipse Site, go to super hard digging. You can do Abyssalite now. We are also down to about 7,000 kcals now. We're balancing it about there. That means I do not want to get more people. Or I want to expand my farming. The problem is we basically have to get one of these shine bugs or one of their eggs down into this room. One way you can do that is by making a storage bin. We'll do that right now. Alright, the chlorine is still moving up. Good. And we are taking down a little bit of bleach stone in a moment. Well, whenever Eclipse Site gets up there. Eclipse Site and, oh wow, there's a lot of... Not that. There's a lot of stuff dropping down there. It's Savior or Eclipse Site that can only do the tier 1 digging. There he goes. And we have bleach stone. I'm going to make it so that this not only goes with organic, but also consumes bleach stone, or at least holds bleach stone. And then make sure right away that the bleach stone is swept up into there so it'll start producing all the chlorine it can. Just one way to get chlorine into an area. Dupes can reach up to 4 tiles, so 2 tiles above their head. So I'm going to get as much of this bleach stone as possible. Move it over. They can also jump up to a max of 2 tiles. We're going to get all the hydrogen out of there, try and gather up here. They cannot jump over here because it's 1 tile. So I'm going to be filling this area with as much hydrogen as possible. I'm not going to dig down here because the chlorine, when this equals out, might start dumping down into this area, and I want to keep this a high-pressure chlorine area. Another thing I can do would be to break up into here and break that and that. This one. So we'll break up into this one as well. So you can jump across 1 tile, and we'll break into chlorine here. The hydrogen will rise up into here and be replaced with the chlorine going down. Now, I'm going to get the bleach stone out of here. As much of it as I possibly can, because it will produce chlorine from inside this area. Did you just drop the bleach stone somewhere? What'd you do? Oh, right. One thing you need to make sure of, consumable ore. Bleach stone does not go in the inside. Don't carry bleach stone inside. I discovered a new element, and thus they're trying to figure out where it goes. Right, these rooms now have no debris in them. Decor is still -5 because the outfits on the floor still count as debris. Don't ask me why. But there's nothing else in there, so it's only a -10 as compared to, you know, the negative, what, something 50 that it was before with all the debris on the floor. I'm gonna build another granite cot in there and see what it's like after we've gotten all the debris out. We're likely gonna get a new person very soon. Alright, so this one storage bin, I'm gonna go and look at eggs. Put a shine nymph egg in there when I tell you to sweep it. Because there's one right there, and I want to keep one shine bug in this room all the time. So if there's one up here, I just keep an eye out up here and see if any of these shine bugs birth a baby. And if they do, it's mine. There's an adult! Get him! Oh, that's right, they don't drop meat. They just drop their molt. I forgot about that. Oh well. Look at the gas. It is no hydrogen. It is only CO2 and chlorine. Exactly what I wanted. Now the chlorine, or the CO2 will not move out of that room. Ever. It will not. It's the same density, I believe. Can I check the density? Can't check density. Okay. It's pretty much the exact same as carbon dioxide. So they'll sort of, I think chlorine stays on the top of CO2. So we could try and wait a little bit for the chlorine to exchange spots with it, but it's unimportant, so we're just going to close this up and keep the chlorine in here with additional bleach stone coming into this room to increase the pressure a little bit of the chlorine in that room. And apparently this Dreco wants in. Apparently he also wants to be dinner. Evie? Evie lost his breath, so he got confused there for a second. Alright, now this room is completely stable. This room is, the gases cannot pass this little bit of 37.1 water. I still don't know why nobody has brought in more water. But the gases cannot pass through here, so we're always going to have chlorine in this room. The chlorine will take all of the germs that are in this water. Any water that comes in here, it will take the germs, and it will destroy it inside the reservoirs. For all intents and purposes, this room's done. Well, not quite done. There's still some things we have to do. Which is pipes! And we're out of igneous. That didn't take long. I could break into some more igneous if I need to. Don't really need it right now. Ooh, hello. More important to me to get all of our plumbing done right now. And really, this can be anything, so I'll keep using sandstone. We got 132 Gs of it. Or kg of it. We're just going to set up our bathrooms. Oops, wrong place. Whee! Gonna take a lot of work to get done. Oh, wrong one. Right now I'm remembering where all of the pipe input and outputs go. It'll make sense in a moment. Like the lavatory, you see the input is on the bottom left, the output is on the top right, same with sinks. So I can predict ahead of time where everything is going to go. And I'll show you what that does after a while. If I would set it up right. Here's a liquid bridge here, put it here, attach it like so. Veteran players know exactly what that is, but I figure for the purposes of a tutorial video, I will explain it once we're good, once we're set up. Okay, we've got yokel, so can't do researching, don't care about that. Operating, supplying, tidying, no cooks. No cooks. Damn. Get out of here. Ooh. Supplying and tidying, though. Ooh. No, no. I'm like, he could carry a lot of stuff. But I'm not going to waste my kcals on that right now. No eggs. I'm basically trying to remind myself, whenever it's nighttime, go check on the eggs. Eclipsite, of course, is still working because they're still on the secondary schedule. They're grabbing muckroot because it's their dinner time. I'm going to have to turn on oxygen, too. Oh, wow, yeah, it's really bad in here. And it looks like we even got a little bit of hydrogen up here somehow. It came in through these doors, of course. There's always a little bit that gets through. You can't prevent that. You can with a water lock, but I try not to use water locks because of, like I said earlier, the soggy feet and the sopping wet debuffs. They can eventually really tax your morale. Hey, Andrew Dan, pretty good. Finishing up this plumbing situation right now, and then I'll do a small tutorial video on it. My water reclamation system, which I'm stupidly proud of, and I really shouldn't be as proud of it as I am, but I am. I never set up this park thing earlier, did I? Park sign. Make it out of... Where's granite? Granite. One right there. Boop. Hey man, those are your own choices. That's not me. That's on you. So, this park sign will turn this room, which has 4 wild plants in it, technically, into a nature reserve, but the maximum size for a nature reserve is 120. You know what? I'm going to do that into a tutorial video really quick while I'm taking care of this. Starting time 2:34. 2:34. Good morning, everybody. I'm Omni Rusted. We're gonna do a quick oxygen not included, quick and dirty tutorial talking about the park sign, and specifically the park and the nature reserve. Now, there's a little trick you can do here. This is just a trick. I believe I saw this on a Brothgar video. I forget who came up with it in the first place. It was somebody on his Discord, but I might as well just put this in a quick little 2-minute video. Basically, the park sign will turn any room that it's in into either a park or a nature reserve, depending on the amount of room that's in there. If you look at the room overlay for the park, it gives a morale bonus of +3, but the maximum size is only 64 tiles. The nature reserve is a morale bonus of +6, maximum size of 120 tiles. We can use that to our advantage in rooms like your ladder area. So I'm going to deconstruct here. I'm going to deconstruct here. Thank you, Eclipsite. And then I'm going to put pneumatic doors there and there to consolidate the size of the room. I left this room in here intentionally wild because it has 2 bluff briars and 2 buried muck roots in it. And I'm leaving them intentionally open and intentionally there. It does mean that there's room in my main base area that I'm not going to be using, but we can take advantage of that with the nature reserve. Other ways you could use this is like I did down here with the bristle blossom, wild bristle with wild bristle blossom, because when they're wild they don't require water, and if you've got a shine bug flying around, it will constantly keep them in illumination, and you can just go down there and harvest them automatically without having to waste your small amount of precious water. Now back to on this, Savior and Stick has completed these 2 pneumatic doors, which technically separates all of this from any other rooms in the area. Meaning this is now a nature reserve. Anybody that passes through it, meaning anybody that passes through down here towards my airlock, anybody that tries to go up here towards their beds, anybody that runs from the airlocks to the latrine area will hit this room and automatically get the nature reserve +6 nature, or +6 morale. Thank you for watching. I'm Omni Rusted. You've been awesome. Have a great day. All right, and that ends that one. Again, for anybody watching this later, I'm just going to be editing those out whenever I make them, because it's important to me that we get these quick and dirty videos up. I don't like, there's no tutorial videos for Oxygen Not Included, so quick and dirties are kind of where I'm trying to set, like do a little bit of stuff to help, you know. In towards our dirty water. Oh, that's clean water. Shit. Wrong ones. I do plan to do the RimWorld tutorials again. Yeah, after the current series is done. Right, now we sit back and we wait for them to get done with their pipes. As you can see, that brought their morale up a lot. It doubled the amount of morale that Chinchillin has. I hope everyone's alright in the colony. Well, Momo died. To my stupidity. Somebody else died too. I forget who. Oh, yeah, right. It was you. That's right. I forgot. Andrew Dan also died. We told you about that one. I think that one gets uploaded next week. Yeah, your character died to an explosion. It was pretty dumb, but what can you do? It's RimWorld. People are gonna die. Blame Evie. Actually, it was Durkatan's fault that Andrew Dan died. Momo dying was 100% my fault. What are you gonna do? Let's use this. I don't have any automation yet. That's fine. Open up this one. Can I get revived? I don't know. We've got people who are kind of volunteering for things right now. Actually, there are other characters. Maybe if I get a new one. I don't know. Because Bariath is now the main doctor, and you know I don't really trust that. I'll think about it. I need to do research right now for the insulated gas pipes, which I forgot about. Yeah, you're also the guy who makes our dog food. I mean... It is a terrible idea. Ah, ha ha ha! There is an egg. Please let me pick it up. Please get out of my way. Why can't I pick you up? Sweep the egg! If it were a tabletop situation, I'd be bleeding out. Your chest got shredded instantly. No, you were the main doctor. But, really, Chinchillin? You're just gonna... Okay. Bye. Somebody will pick it up tomorrow. As long as it's not incubating, it's not a big idea. We've got another quality achievement, some reservations. Again, they are not working right now. So, improve duplicate morale by designating 4 areas as a nature reserve. That will also get you that bonus, which is good. We're still at food shortage. We're only at 1600 kcals. Oh, no. The egg is still... It should hatch any second now. There it goes. But still, nothing is ready to go. That's a problem. We have no food. I guess we're going to break into here. I don't like spreading out what we have any more than we already have. But we need the food, so we're going to break into this area. I'd really like it if somebody went and got this Shine Nymph egg before it hatches. There's another Shine Nymph egg I can probably just go sweep up. We'll see. I don't want to fit 2 Shine Nymphs in one room, though. But we'll see which one they get first and cancel the other one. I think this one is a little bit bugged out, which is why nobody's going to go grab it. First off, somebody has to go run that direction to go get it, though. And everybody's busy! Let's go grab priorities really quick, and I'll set Eclipse to Tiding, just to get that done really quickly. You know the colony with 200 cycles, what happened? Oh, you lose colonies all the time, man. No, stop building. And Navy goes to get it. Really? Wow. Oh, I said vehicles and Doctrine. I said nobody on Tiding. I accidentally said Eclipse on Doctrine. That explains it. Yeah, you lose colonies all the time. Alright, so by putting him in there, I can then destroy that. Like RimWorld? A little bit, but there's no random events in this. Anyway, the egg is now on the ground. When it incubates fully, it will work on this room and brighten up this room, and we can have another room with Bristle Blossoms. Hey, get this out of here. How did that get water in it? Oh, I see. Okay. If I get a cook now, I'd love to get a cook. If I got anybody else, they'd have to be really, really good. Not here. Definitely not gonna get brine. Definitely not gonna get brine this early. Be no use for that. I can maybe use it in a water lock, but that's about it, and I'm not gonna do it. Alright, this room is now open. We're getting the Oxalite. The baby Shine Nymphs are in there asleep. I'm just gonna let them go. I'm not gonna care about keeping them in with the Bristle Blossom, because there's a single Bristle Blossom. Oh, there's a couple. Whatever. This game focuses more on colonist need than RimWorld. RimWorld is focused on building a story, so it's all about the events and the randomized events. Oxygen Not Included is more like an ant colony, and is more focused on the needs of the dupes themselves and building out and kind of making your own goals. So a little bit, yeah. It's honestly like an engineering simulator. It's kind of weird in a way. You spend a lot of time fighting with pressure and thermodynamics and physics. Not even the game physics. Like, it is so accurate towards real life physics. It's, well, in certain ways. In some ways, it's not at all. For example, there's no entropy. But it's ridiculous. And the learning curve is so incredibly high, which is why I'm trying to do this tutorial series right now. Well, not so much series. Oh, whoa, what just happened? That means we ran out of igneous rock. No, we didn't. We must have separated from it somehow. On accident. You don't get events, no. There's no events in this game. Let's break in over here and expand this ladder downwards. These are insulated pipes. We can cancel all of that and just rebuild them with whatever. It's not that big a deal what they're made of. Insulation is insulation. I would like the liquid bridge to be made of something, though. Do liquid bridges have a thermal conductivity? Thermal conductivity 2 point. They do put out a lot of heat, actually. So I will want to make those out of igneous at least. We have 0 igneous, which I think means it just got cut off somehow. There we go. Yeah, it just got cut off because we closed up that wall. Okay. Dun da da da, right there, and there. What is the most important resource in the game? Oxygen? No, water. Once I'm out of this water, I'm dead. Which is why I'm making my water reclamation system to get more water. You guys stop leaving those hanging around? Water is 100% the most important resource in the whole game. Well, at the beginning. Wow, look at this obscure path. Oh, and there's some bleach stone I want in here. Water is needed for everything. Water is needed for food. And eventually you start using water to make oxygen. So, like, eventually oxygen gets to be trivial to make. Was that the research done? It was. Alright, so right here goes there. You go here. And you go this away. Not there. Not there. Right there. Because right now I can actually build my very first sink. Early to mid game water is super important, then mid to late game it's easy to make, no problems. Yeah. And late game it's all about, well, I mean, not late game, I guess mid game it's all about the steel. Because you gotta make steel, and steel is hard to make. And so you gotta get lime and fossil and all that stuff. Oil, plastics. Late game, it's still all about the steel, but it's also about incredibly complex systems and heat mitigation. Heat mitigation in this game is the most important thing. You need to start planning in the beginning of the game how you are going to handle heat late game. Like, I haven't put up a single piece of insulation yet, and it is honestly stressing me out. Okay, that looks like all the piping done. Yup. Want to get this done, and then we'll call it. And then I'll do the last tutorial of the day, and then go rest my throats. Can't you slap some coolers or something and be cool? Nope. The thing is, even in real life, heat has to go somewhere. You can create heat, you cannot cool things down. You only move heat, including air conditioners, including refrigerators, just move heat from one place to another. So air conditioners will take heat from inside the room and move it outside. That's all they're doing. Refrigerators, same thing. They have a cooling loop with Freon in it that just basically moves heat to the back of the refrigerator while moving coolness inside the refrigerator and then insulating it. You cannot get rid of heat. It has to go somewhere. Let's go destroy that, destroy that, destroy that. I don't know. We got 6.2 tons of copper ore. It should be enough copper for now. Nope, 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 nope. Shit. Fuck, I just accidentally lost a ton of chlorine. Literally, because these are like, 200 grams. The energy created by the heat can't just be removed, it's need movement to be replaced. Yeah, exactly. Is somebody gonna move the damn water over here already? This is so dumb that nobody's moving that water. Alright, sinks. Doop, doop. Haul out the water from that area. Lavatory. Boop, boop. Physics helps you understand heat to an even better degree. Yes. Although in this game, there is kind of a problem. Heat doesn't rise. It's weird. Like, that seems to be one thing that they kind of forgot in this game, is that heat doesn't rise. Instead, heat and cold in this game kind of equalize to everything around them and radiate. They radiate just fine. But it doesn't rise. And that's weird. Well, maybe it does. Maybe I'm thinking wrong. 25.7. 25.3. No, heat doesn't rise. Any other games that simulate heat properly or even temperature? Oh, lots. I don't know why they didn't include that specific thing in the game. It's very bizarre that they didn't. Alright, so this should be pumping all the oxygen and CO2 and polluted oxygen out of that area, while leaving in nothing but chlorine. Boom. Sink. Get rid of those. Get rid of those. Another colony achievement earned. Royal Flush. Is that like you made a toilet? Replace all outhouses and wash basins in your colony with lavatories and sinks. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. If you want to have a good lasting colony, do you need to get lucky with the map? Oh, yeah. Like, right now, I've got a natural gas geyser right here. The problem is, I'm gonna have to suck all that natural gas out to natural gas generators. Eventually. It's also going to take up room of where I'm building. You cannot destroy these prefabs. So, like, if I wanted to build something there, I couldn't. There is an ice biome right here, but there's no AETN, which is an aqua or AO something. It's a neutral. It cools things down. So it's a very tiny ice biome, practically useless. I'm not seeing any other geysers, and geyser luck is 100% of this game. You're guaranteed to get certain types of geysers, like a certain number of steam vents and stuff like that, and a certain number of natural gas geysers when you start the game. and every map, but like certain geysers, like the cool slush geyser, you're not guaranteed to get. And we are now starving. There is nothing I can do about that, and that might end the game. If we don't get some food soon. Ha ha ha. Nah. Also, can we not reach that meal lice? That's just 600 calories we're doing without. We cannot. Hello. Cannot. Alright. I can do something about that. No, don't stop. You're starving. Oh. There's thing in the long dark about the similarities, temperature, heat, hunger, cold to a certain degree. Yeah. Yep. Except in the long dark, you don't really get heat transference, and that's also important. Please be food. Nope. There's a cook. A quick learner, unconstructive cook with suit wearing, which is plus athletics. I don't have the food right now, but with an extra cook, I can expand things. Anybody want to be a cook? I'll name him Cook now, and I'll see if anybody wants to volunteer to be my cook. You want to be the cook? Alright. Andrew Dan, welcome to the colony. You are now our cook. We're going to go skills. Andrew Dan, cooking. Put on your fancy hat. Priorities. The hat is 100% only for aesthetics. Nothing else. You will not do digging. You will not do operating. You will only do researching if it's the lowest priority. Otherwise, you will help with tidying, storage. Otherwise, you will cook everything. That's not even connected to the electricity grid. And for now, I'm going to put a ration box up there. Oh, and schedule, same schedule as Eclipsite. Now, we can't feed you right now. Or anybody for that matter. That's what you're here to fix. Alright, we got this going up here. Let's go ahead and destroy that. Grab some muck roots, some meal lice. We have 3 bristle blossoms right there, wow. Get some more planter boxes. Good. This takes all at an 8 priority because we want everything to be stored in there. And then make me gristleberries. Make me everything. Powered. Go, Andrew Dan, go! We have skills to patch out. Kula Levy, you are my main operator. VIP main doctor. Get your better doctor hat. You can now make medicine. Plant me all the bristle blossoms you can. Boop boop. There we go, you get to cooking. Oh, and nobody eats bristle blossoms anymore. Or meal lice. I don't think we can make barbecue yet. Yeah, we can. Okay, nobody eats meat. If it ain't cooked, don't eat it. Okay, that's all done, that's all done. I think I'm ready for that last tutorial video. Good morning, everybody. I am Omni Rusted. Welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. I'm going to do a quick tutorial again. This is the quick and dirty tutorial series, I guess. And we're going to talk today about my water reclamation system. It's something that I've made for a while. It should be, of course, in insulation, but it isn't at the moment. And I'll show you how it works. It's compact, it's easy to use, early game to late game. It's very, very nice. So basically what this is a small area which will hold all of your polluted oxygen, early game, and all of the polluted water that comes in from your toilet system later. So I don't like 1x speed. It feels like they're in slow motion. Here is all the pipes coming into it. Basically, you got 2 bottle emptiers for early game when you are using wash basins. If the wash basin gets full, they take the water out, they pump it in there, a water pump pumps it to these 2 liquid reservoirs, which then pumps it down to a water sieve, pumps it out to liquid reservoirs for backup of the system, of course, and then back out into the base. I just realized I didn't finish that. Of course, it's all made of insulated pipes because of water changes and because of temperature changes. But there's a couple things that make this special. First off is the gas pump that we have up here. It pumps out the into a filter. You can, of course, replace this with a filter design later, an automated filter design. It keeps the chlorine in the room and then pumps out all oxygen that comes from the compost heap, the polluted oxygen from the water sieve, and any extra polluted dirt that's in there that hasn't been put into the compost heap yet. All of that oxygen gets pumped up here where there's a deodorizer before it ever reaches the gas pump. You don't want to leave this on all the time. It is taking up power constantly. Later on, you can automate this. You could have what I like to do, which is having a element sensor up here, a gas element sensor, which will then turn the whole thing on when there's oxygen up here, because of course oxygen is lighter than the chlorine that you're putting into here. Ways to get chlorine into this room. I got lucky and had a bunch of chlorine biomes around where I put the reclamation room, so it was pretty easy to just get all the hydrogen up to here, all the chlorine down into here. Another way to do it is to get a bunch of bleach stone hauled into this room from any bleach biome nearby. That way it'll pump out more chlorine to this room. The reason for the chlorine is all of the food germs. There's no surface germs in there right now. All the food germs that are going to be going into this room constantly gets taken out by the chlorine in the area. I just realized this actually you might want to eventually, once you're done equalizing equalizing everything in this room, turn that into mesh tile in case you have an overflow of water, or in case you have gases that need to move up like the polluted oxygen. Anyway, so the benefit of this room is it, of course, takes all your polluted water that gets dumped into here, changes it into regular water. That's great. You can automate this if you want to have it so that all the water that goes into this isn't automatically pumped out, since germs are a thing, you know. But instead waits a little bit to make sure that there's no germs going through later. Again, this is an early game design that can be adapted for a late game design, because once you have this in your base, you will pretty much never touch it again. Also, food poisoning germs, which are the only germs that are going to be going against here, not really that big a deal, to be honest. But what this does comes out into the rest of the base, where we go into the latrine itself. Now, my latrine system, I wasn't paying attention, this pressure's low here. My latrine system basically is spread out a little bit with an earlier video that you saw on scheduling to make sure that only 4 people use it at a time. They can't go out that way, they can only come in that way, and then have to go past the sinks, which will of course take all of their germs out. Pretty much how they use this, the clean water comes in, dirty water goes out, and is pumped out into the system and comes right back in. You can use this as well for like your kitchen, where water will do the same thing, and if there's any germs coming out of the kitchen, it'll get pumped right back into the system. Same thing with any airlock systems, any airlock sinks. Water comes in, water goes out. No germs enter your base. It's a very simple way to keep all the germs in your place taken care of. You're using water, it can be attached to showers later. It's really easy, and of course, dupes, little secret, dupes, when they use the bathroom, actually produce more water than they use up in the bathroom themselves. Don't know if there's a way to actually see how much it is. No, there's not. They actually produce more water than they're using in the bathrooms themselves. Now, one of the things about this is you can use that water anywhere, even with the germs that are still in it. It'll be some food poisoning germs that you're basically using back in your base, but again, not a big deal, and I'll tell you why. What I have here is a backup priority system. So, if this pipe going to all the sinks and all the bathrooms and everything like that, and the showers are full, it'll pump all excess water into a small pit here, which is of course next to my supercomputer and next to my farms, so that water can easily be taken out here. All the excess water from the system, when the pipes are full, is just pumped right back into the base to be used in farms. Now, the reason I don't worry about the food poisoning germs is food poisoning germs die in the air. That's it. It doesn't get used in any food making because I don't use mush bars. So I don't have to worry about the food poisoning germs coming out of it. It's as simple as that. I don't really think there's anything else I can tell you about this whole system. It's a really simple system. It works perfectly fine. Eventually, you will actually get too much water that you won't be using it from your from the liquid vent. Eventually, you'll want to, say, dump it into a reservoir or make a fish tank. Whatever you'd like to do with it. It's free water. Just don't dump it out too much. You know, like, you'll still need to be using it in your farms. You'll still need to be using it everywhere else. This is an early game system. You don't want to use it in hydroponics because the absolute priority has to be going into your sinks and toilets. That's all there is to that. Anyway, looks like my dupes have nothing else to do, and neither do I. So I am Omni Rusted. You've been awesome. I'll see you next time. Okay, so my throat is really, really hurting. And I want to call it a day for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's a really fun game. I love this game, and I definitely want to do more streaming of this. For anybody watching on YouTube, I'm going to be editing this down a little bit in order to get those 3 tutorials I made out of it. But you can just keep watching on your own. You can keep watching how this base develops and have some fun with me. Oh no. Oh no. Whoops. I was putting eggs in those. That's bad. The eggs hatched in the storage unit, so we got raw egg out of that instead of a hatch, which I wanted to hatch. But hey, we can make omelets now. Yay. Anyway, you can see how this base develops. You can join me. You can volunteer for a role if you want one. I'm going to be getting like up to 25 dupes near the end. Other than that, subscribe, like, come find me on Twitch. Come join us on Discord where I do a lot of other things. And I'll see you guys later.